What's going on, y'all? Here's to another episode of Mir Musk NFL Recap Week 7. And I must say right now, holy shit. What a week. What an amazing week for the Vikings. Proved a lot of haters wrong. What an amazing week for the Eagles. Proved a lot of haters wrong. And what a week for the Raiders. Proved a lot of haters right. So let's dive into it right off the bat, eh? So I kind of want to just dig first into Dr. Chow here with the Vikings, because no joke, this was a huge game for you guys. You guys basically season probably was going to be over most likely after this game if you guys would have lost it. So what was like going through your mind watching this game as you saw it unfold in front of you, and what was your takes on it throughout the whole entire day?
I was streaming when it started, so I kind of watched the first half on catch-up mode on just fast-forwarding through it to the plays. But I caught up live, and I think it worked out, but I didn't like the play call. I didn't like the conservative, like, fourth down. I think they kind of dominated in some aspects and obviously won the turnover battle, which was huge in the final score. But I think they should have won by a little more, and I don't know. It's hard to criticize it, but going down the stretch, I wasn't like, they didn't put it away when they could have probably.
O'Connell seems to have gotten more conservative this year. I guess last year it was a little weird. You had all those comebacks and close games, so maybe he wasn't as conservative, but like he definitely this year, like now that you have 3 wins and the wins, he did that same thing against the Bears. He definitely has gotten super conservative at the end of games. Like, just let's have the defense win this out or something, which is, it's kind of strange for him, especially he came from the Rams, right? He was their offensive coordinator, wasn't he?
Right.
Yeah.
It
worked out, so it's hard to even say anything, but no, I just would have liked to see him maybe turn a couple of those balls inside the 2-yard line into touchdowns instead of field goals. And that was kind of, those were 2 instances where when you get down to the 1 or 2 yard line with first down, got to get touchdowns. So
right.
But it worked out, so whatever. And this game is the most polarizing game I've seen in a long time for a fan, because there's people like we were talking about last week about trading and trading anyone away and trying to get picks and trying to get Caleb Williams. And then look what happens. Caleb Williams has a bad game. Now no one even wants him. He won't even go in the first round probably now. And the Vikings pulled off an upset, and people are talking about them as like potentially winning the North now. So,
well, wait, what? The North?
Because they play the Lions 2 of the last 3 games, and they're 2 games out now. So it's one of those things.
The Lions got blown out.
The sentiment changes quick. People are really high on the Vikings, but
well, I didn't like the Lions in that game. I just thought they're away. They're playing Baltimore, and that Baltimore team with Harbaugh has been a winning team for basically whatever since he got there. Whatever it's been, 12. I might have cut out. I'm okay.
You're good. No, you're
good.
No.
We got a clip right coming through. It's windy as fuck. So, welcome to the third world. And I have a generator, but it's not worth it unless it powers off half a day or something.
Right.
So, but anyhow, but to go with the back to that, the Ravens under Harbaugh are a seasoned team.
Yeah, I mean, if you know anything about the Lions,
or not, so
the Lions with Dan Campbell, they do that all the time, and it's been working out pretty good lately, where they go for it on fourth down, on their own 20, and it works out sometimes. It was for a while, but it snowballs quick when they start doing that. He did the opposite of O'Connell, where he's always I'm gonna go for it on every fourth down pretty much, and
right.
when you miss a couple at the beginning of the game, another team just starts snowballing on you. That's what happened to them, and they're prone to that. So
it was honestly kind of disheartening to see, because I remember just kind of looking back for maybe 45 minutes. I just saw the score at what was it, 28-0. I was like, Jesus Christ, dude. I said that's kind of sucks, because I really wanted to see the Lions.
That was early too.
Was it 1954, 1960 something? The last time they went 6-1.
I don't know about that, but I mean they've been bad for a long time, forever.
It
Basically.
was probably I would think it's the 50s with Bobby Lane when they last won a championship. I'd have to look that up, but yeah, so yeah, because I think they have the longest playoff drought streak right now because I think they're 1991 is the last time they won a playoff game because
it is, yes.
The Bills were like mid 90s and the Bengals were 1990, but then obviously the Bengals have won a few playoff games with Burrow, so I think they're the longest playoff that losing streak in the league,
Mm.
And I think the next two are Dolphins and Raiders. Dolphins are 2000, Raiders are 2002.
So real quick, I do want to take on Addison though.
Yeah, I was just
God damn, dude. MJ vibes right there, man.
You guys know he's my favorite player in the NFL.
You've been hyping
basically
him up for weeks.
Blowing on him for before the season even started. From the first draft pick, man. Once they drafted him, I was like, this guy's gonna be the shit, dude. I can just tell by the way he looks. Then I saw his highlights, and I was like, oh shit, like he was doing all this shit like when he was 18 and 19. And I was like, okay, so. And then, of course, like you kind of have the handicap of like, oh, he's going to be under Jefferson, so you think he's going to be good right away. But that was a huge game for him coming out as basically the first option with Hawkinson, getting a lot of targets, getting a lot of catches, and he's actually one thing about him too. I think he got 2 in that game, 2 PIs, and he got 1 for about 60 yards in the Carolina game, but he didn't have a catch in that game. So he draws a lot of pass interference because of his route running too.
Yeah.
So he's just like he's seasoned, but he's 21. So it's kind of weird to have a guy like that so young. I'm so high on him. Like,
well, the thing about that is I think that gets overdone where they're like, oh, he's going to be the number one guy now. He's going to get double coverage. Yeah, but he's also going to get way more looks, right? Mm-hmm. So I think that always balances out, with those guys who are number 2 or 3s. Is that, it's if the starter goes down. I actually remember. I don't know if you guys remember. Well, you weren't even alive, Mir, but in '97, Jerry Rice blew out his ACL, or in the first game. Yeah, and then Terrell Owens totally stepped up, and by that, and Owens wasn't a star yet. He was a 3rd round pick. He was like second, 3rd year. He was kind of like their 3rd receiver. So usually if it's a quality team and they have good players, that guy will stand up. And Addison finds the end zone, man.
And he's, Steve Smith, the genius wide receiver, Hall of Fame guy. He calls him plug and play yesterday player. Like he said going into the draft, he's a guy you can put him in any wide receiver position on the field, slot, outside, run in motion, and he's ready to go be a big time player day one. So you're seeing it. Yeah, you're seeing it already because he didn't have like the fastest speed, or he didn't have he's small.
And he's not big. Yeah, he's small.
Yeah, he's smaller.
When you were going on about how he could be better than Jefferson, one issue I had is that he's 5'11", 175. And I usually like those, number 1 receivers to be,
I like all the guys the Vikings have had over the years. They've had lately Thielen, Diggs, Moss, Carter, Jefferson now, and Addison. So they've been stacking up.
How big is Jefferson, honestly? How big is he?
I don't even know, honestly. I think he's like 6'1". He's not overly big.
Okay, he's not Calvin Johnson size, but he's like normal size for a first option.
He's strong though, especially in his first couple years. He was really good at yards after contact. So
that was my fault. I was doing my usual looking at stat crap, and I hit the wrong. There you go again.
Oh shit! You exited a great point. It was awesome. You said your point. You just left. I was like, all right.
Yeah, no, because he kept saying like, oh, he's going to be better than Jefferson, but Jefferson's what 6'1", 6'2", like 200 pounds. Like he's only 5'11", 175, and I just worry about those guys being too small, right? So like,
I mean, look at what's wrong with small wide receivers though for first option.
Yeah, but Welker's like a slot guy. Slot guys can be small, but like usually outside receivers have to have. Because outside receivers are usually going to go a little more jump balls and one-on-ones. Yeah. So you usually need a little bit of size. Like there's plenty of guys, like my jersey behind me, Cliff Branch. he was like 5'10", 170. So like, yeah, that can definitely happen, especially if the guy runs routes and
I think
has
he's
good.
gonna be like he could be like a legendary, like 130 catch slot guy
Okay.
eventually here. I could see him doing that because that's what he did when he was at Pitt as a sophomore. He played with Pickens. He mainly played in the slot and had over 100 catches in college, over 1,600 yards. And
Well, another thing too is you're in a good situation with that where you can still give Jefferson his big money because Addison won't come up for like another 4 years.
yeah,
So then in 4 years from now, you could say, well, Jefferson, you've been here 8, 9 years. We can only afford 2 guys on those kind of, or 1 guy on that kind of salary. And you
Right.
could let Jefferson go and then re-sign Addison then. So you're like in a good situation that way too. And you could kind of do what the Packers did with Devontae Adams, say, okay, franchise him or something and say still get like a first round pick for Jefferson. So that's years off though. That's not.
Don't you think Jefferson's like a generational talent though?
Yeah, he is like awesome,
Yeah.
but it matters. I think the age thing matters too, where you're kind of like, I think what the Packers said was Adams is like 31. He doesn't really want to be here anyhow. We're kind of starting over without Rodgers.
Right.
Let's get a first and second round pick for him. And then the salary cap, like the average fan doesn't really understand the dynamics of the salary cap. Like when the Raiders did trade Khalil Mack and Cooper, I understood why, because it's like these 2 guys are going to be making $50 million a year. And it's like, and that was back when the salary cap's lower than now. And you're like you can't, it's hard to do that because then your salary, then you combine it with what Carr was making, like, 70% of your salary cap's in 3 guys.
You can't
right.
have that.
So yeah. So that's difficult to do as well. Right. That's why everyone wants to win with the quarterbacks on the rookie cap, right? Because then you can pay your wide receiver or defensive end or whatever a shit ton of money. And that's what the Niners are trying to do with Purdy, obviously.
Right.
And you guys, and the thing about even when you give a quarterback big money, though, again, the dynamics, I don't want to bore people with salary crap, but the way that it works is you can kind of, carry over some of the, salary down the line into that year. So like Hurts, even though they gave him a new deal, he's not making a lot of money this year and next year.
No, he's not.
Yeah. So that's the kind of way you can do it. So
That's how you help out the team, though. Yeah, go ahead.
Yeah. Anyhow, that's kind of, you look at same thing, the Mahomes contract. Again, the first 2 years after they gave him that new deal, he wasn't making now starting like next year, he'll start making a lot of money. And I think you're seeing that, there you go, affecting the defense, right? I mean, the offense isn't as good, right?
No.
But their defense has kind of stepped up, Casey's just, I know you hate them obviously because
I fucking hate them.
But they're just so well coached. Like,
where was that shit in Philadelphia?
Like I just didn't expect Casey's defense. I'm looking at the stats again. They're the second best defense in the league. I didn't expect that, and they got a bunch of young guys outside of Chris Jones. There's a bunch of guys you never heard of.
Well, that's Steve Spagnuolo coaching defense, though. That dude's a fucking legend when it comes to defense.
I know. So. Guys I know. Yeah, like I'm looking at 2 defensive ends. Jones is defensive tackle. Like Michael Dana and George Karlaftis III. Who the hell are these guys? And they're doing great.
It makes me goddamn sick. But you know what? Let's keep moving on. We'll go ahead. You want to say something, Chow?
Should we? Do we want to touch just before we? I want to talk about the Eagles and then the Bears game too, and the Raiders and both those games. But on the Vikings game, what's your guys' takeaway on the Niners coming out of that? And you mentioned Brock. Did you guys see that that hit he took on the shove?
Good.
That was bad, bro.
I love it. Get checked. Now you're ready to play with the big boys. If he can withstand that shit, not have his fucking running back holding his hand, his wide receivers holding his hand and shit like that. Let's see how good he really is. He's already fucked up. He's probably not going to play next week.
Yeah, they said he had to go get evaluated for concussion after the game.
I bet he did.
So.
He's getting fucked up now, and I like to see it. We'll see how really good he is once he bounces back. Not this week, but next week. We'll see how good he really is.
I think the Niners always miss Samuel when he's not there.
Right.
And with him, he's a weird receiver to look at because you can't just look at his receiving numbers because he runs those jet sweeps so often. They even line him up in the backfield. Like a few years ago when he had that all-pro year, I think he had like 8 touchdowns rushing.
Impossible to tackle. Impossible.
Yeah, so he really changes the dynamics of that offense because they don't really have any top tier receivers without him. And even then, that offense is all based on misdirection and that short intermediate.
And Trent Williams wasn't there.
Yeah, Trent Williams wasn't there.
Like, you're missing one of the best guys in the NFL.
So I think they'll still be okay. It's just I don't know. It's just, again, with a 7th round quarterback in his second year. In Debo, one problem with him, he's injury prone. I think that one All-Pro year he had was the only year he's really stayed healthy the whole year.
I was disappointed a little in their D. I thought they would have maybe done a little better against the Vikings. And the offensive line did great, but I don't know. Like,
dude, the 49ers D was crap against the pass.
I was watching that, dude. What the fuck?
Okay, don't get me. I don't want to take anything.
That Ward guy had a lot of bad plays.
I don't want to take anything away from Addison, but like a lot of times those guys were running wide open. Addison didn't have like a lot of these tough contested catches. He was just running open. Like it was there. Yeah, like you said, Ward. They were picking on Ward the whole game. Yeah,
that's one
thing. And
again, you need to figure out for the playoffs.
These 2 wins that you guys have had, your guys' defense is forced 6 turnovers. So that's a huge deal as well, right? If you start doing that, you can win games. And I didn't think your season was over if you were 2-5, if you lost that game, because your schedule lightens up so much now. The next 5 weeks. But now you're 6, actually really 6 weeks after the bye, you play the Raiders. So yeah, really the next 6 games are all super winnable, So, although the Falcons, the Falcons, they're first place. They're 4-3.
They're a good team, man. Ritter's a good QB. Here to stay, I'll tell you what.
It comes down to the turnovers. Every game's been one score for the Vikings this year, every single one. And I bet 80% is like a big turnover margin for one team, and that's the team that won. Because the Vikings were turning the ball over every game 2 to 3 times for the first 4 games. Like,
well, that's why the Raiders are so
stupid.
Bad. They're doing that every single game. So, so if you want to move to that game, okay, like I have my thing here. That game was it. I was done with, because even though the Raiders were 3-3, I didn't like the way they were playing, especially the offense is one of the worst offenses in the league. And this guy, McDaniels is supposed to be some offensive guru. So, and I don't even give a shit that if you like Jimmy G's injured, it's like, no, these gurus are supposed to, like, the backup's supposed to plug in and play fine. So they can't do anything on offense. They're too predictable. The defense is mediocre because all the money is in the offense. So like the problem to me with McDaniels is the number one thing. He's 9-15, which is okay. That's bad, but it's not the worst.
It's not that bad. Look at the Cleveland Browns cube.
Oh no, I'm just saying.
Had that one year
I'm
for
saying
2 years.
like
he went like 1 and something.
Give me a second, guys. I just got to close the window because the rain's down here. So he's 9-15, which is like, okay, the Bears have 5 wins the last 2 years, right? So it's like there's worse teams, but it's just these fucking losses. Like he loses to Jeff Saturday when Jeff Saturday is coming off the couch. He blows a 20-point lead to Kyler Murray. That was the second game last year. What was the 1-2 that was? Remember when they lost to the Rams and Baker had like 2 days practice?
Yes, that was awesome, dude. Baker rejuvenated his career off you guys.
I know off that game, but it was like 2 days practice, and now you lose to an undrafted Division II quarterback. So my opinion is, if there's
Dyson Bagnes is amazing.
That guy's good.
But I'm just saying, there's too many.
Have you done losses. Have you researched on him?
No, dude. The Raiders are making him look like that. Jeff
no.
Jeff Saturday did not win another fucking game after that. No. It's partly fucking McDaniels. And
he played better.
I'm not saying that kid won't be good, but in his rookie year, he won't have a game like that the rest of the year.
What?
I know. So what I'm trying to say is there's too many extremely embarrassing losses like that where the team is totally unprepared. And it doesn't matter if Jimmy G or Hoyer or Carr is a quarterback. It's just the same shit. So who the problem the problem is, and the coach is the problem.
It's not the coach. It's not the coach. This is what I got to tell you right now. You got to listen closely.
It's the coach.
No, it's not. McDaniels is doing a great job. Now I'm gonna tell you
he's not.
something. No, I'm gonna tell you something though, and you gotta hear this, okay? What happened to you guys last week? Well, Sunday was something that only comes around every decade. Okay, and Tony Dungy said it best. It's very rare, but in times you see true men, true athletes to showcase themselves, no matter who they are, no matter where they're from. First, you had Kurt Warner, then you had Brock Purdy, and now you got Tyson Bagnet. These guys are fucking
I think he's
insane.
going to be a quality player. I liked his game a lot. He throws really well on the run, and he's mobile, but he doesn't bail all the time. I do like his game a lot, and he was playing within himself. He wasn't making wild, stupid throws a lot of times rookies make. So, but I think it's just like, and like here's the other thing too. Again, I don't want to bore because the Raiders. Why the hell do I want to talk about it? People want to hear about a mediocre team, but even other decisions were okay. You cut Carr, you traded Waller, you're probably going to trade Renfro, right? But they all re-signed those guys to big extensions. Okay, if you want to trade them, you come in new, think these guys aren't for us, get a draft picks, fine. But you don't, like at least with Khalil Mack, he wasn't signed. Boom, they got 2 first-round picks for him. That's it, right? Same thing with Amari Cooper. At least Gruden got a first-round pick, didn't give him the big contract. Why do you give these guys big extensions and then trade them? And now with Renfro, he's got no value now because he's sucked. For now, it's not his fault. It's because McDaniels is an idiot.
Is it McDaniels the GM too? I don't know.
No, it's just the GM is like some guy. He looks like a 12-year-old kid who's like his buddy in New England.
So McDaniels is just working with garbage that he's handed to by the GM though, right? And
no, they work together. They're like he's not the GM's not gonna do. It's not one of those situations. He's not gonna do anything without McDaniels. So
okay.
What's
up, Porno Dave?
Sup?
Taking my name.
I'm keeping the namesake going.
Girlfriend, turn yourself down. Turn yourself down. You're killing my ears right now. Hang on. Turn yourself down just a little bit. You're very hot. I mean, you are hot, but your vocals are hot. Turn your shit down.
Nice. Dayless is matching up with me tonight.
That's right. That's right. Everyone's matching tonight. We all got that milky vibes going on.
Yeah.
Dayless, stop real quick. Let me hear you.
Mir, is this your Halloween outfit? You're like
still
a redneck.
Fucked up? Am I still ruining your ears?
No, just go down one more a little bit. Maybe just a little bit. Talk now.
How dis?
That's perfect. Yeah, you're good.
Awesome.
Okay, cool. All right, continue, Dave. What were you saying, sir? About Tyson Bagnet?
I just like what they're doing makes no sense. That's all. That I just don't think what they're doing makes any sense. So it's just like, it's time to if you hear that sound, it's not me farting. It's the wind coming through. I have a little crease in like my sliding door, and when it's super windy, it makes that little sound. But
that's right.
Yeah, but no, because one night it was like keeping me up. I was like, what the hell is that? So anyhow, no, I don't know. I just think what they're doing makes no sense, and that's all. So, whatever. I given up now because I just looked at their schedule and I'm just like,
It's tough.
They needed that win to even have a chance at anything, and now I'm like, they're gonna win like 5 games. They're gonna be like 5-12. I wouldn't be surprised if McDaniels. They have a very late bye this year. They don't have a bye to week 12, so they have 11 games. I wouldn't be surprised if he's fired by the bye.
Really? You think? I think they're gonna keep
4-7,
him.
yeah.
I think they'll keep him, bro.
No, I don't think so. I think because actually Harbaugh and Mark Davis get along really well. And Harbaugh's first job as a coach was quarterback's coach for the Raiders.
Mm-hmm.
That year they made the Super Bowl in 2002. So, and he wants to, I guess he's from the Bay Area originally, so he wants to kind of coach them. So I just think that if Harbaugh's available, and it looks like he is with these scandals that's going on at Michigan, you just, let's say the Raiders even eked out like a half decent record, like 8-9. You got to go with Jim Harbaugh over Josh McDaniels. You got to,
I heard Harbaugh might be looking for somewhere else though.
He could be Chicago because
which I heard Chicago, man.
Yeah, they see both teams are okay for him because the Raiders have like Adams and Crosby and some star power already, so that might be enticing. But also Chicago's got those 2 first-round picks, which are going to be like top 5-6 picks.
That's right.
Supposedly, he was going to go to the Vikings. He agreed to, and then the Vikings took O'Connell or something instead.
That's been reported a few times because supposedly he was talking about going to the Colts too a year or two ago because again he played for the Colts. So
So
Well,
Dalish, go ahead.
You want to do Eagles or you want to get into for Dalish?
Let's get into
football stuff?
Dalish's team. Yeah, Dalish, you check
Yeah.
out your team.
I lost, right?
No, because it was kind of like during or before the game. I said she could switch to the Vikings because I think she should be a Vikings fan because I'm a Vikings fan, and Aaron and April are
She's
Vikings
like-
fans. So, and since I gave her the Niners have gone 0-2, and the Vikings have gone 2-0. So I feel bad about the Niners.
Is she a steel toe fan?
Yeah. So
You just like it because Aaron's got like the only half decent looking girl in the whole universe.
Gotta support anyone who trashes Fatty Patty.
Patty. I'm with that. I'm the number one fan of that. So I actually judge the quality of a podcast is how many times you insult Melton.
So I think she's got to ride with the Vikings, especially after that big win. She can celebrate that because Vikings fans are like, there's that guy that does the reviews, and he was so ecstatic from the Vikings game, like for like 14 hours straight. Like he was just making videos every like hour, like top 10 guys we can target in at the trade deadline. Mainstream media never believed in us. Like he was going nuts. So I've never that game was such a flip of like, I don't know if the season's over to like now, oh, Super Bowl's like a potential. That's how crazy people are going about it. So
you know what didn't flip though? Almost like Kirk Douglas. Holy shit. Kirk Cousins is still an amazing quarterback, no matter what, dude. Almost 400 fucking yards again.
No, that
Jesus Christ. This guy is nuts.
I was always in
Nuts.
like, okay, Kirk Cousins, like the Derek Carr, Jimmy G level. No, dude. That guy's like, maybe it's because of the team he's on or whatever. That guy is close to that top 5, 6, 7 quarterback range, I know he has his games here and there, but they all do. The issue with Cousins, I think, is that he doesn't have the team some of these other guys do to bail him out when he has a bad game,
Like a Drew Brees or a Peyton Manning or something.
Or even like, Lamar Jackson when he has like, sometimes he has stinkers, but the Ravens almost always have like a top tier defense, right? So, they can win games. The last week he went off, but, Ravens win a lot of 17-14 games, so. Yeah. The Browns have PJ
That
Walker.
Culpepper. No, just kidding. I'm naming names now.
Culpepper, yeah, he's gone, unfortunately.
No, rip.
I saw him in
He's good,
2007. He played for the Raiders one year. It was after this bad knee injury. He had 5 touchdowns in one game, though. It was like his highlight of his career. Yeah. In Miami.
There's one year where I think any other year he would have broken the record for most touchdown passes in the NFL. But it was the year Peyton did like 60 some. I think he was like at like 58 or something. He had like some crazy number, and he was like runner up for MVP, but like it was because Peyton Manning broke the record. So he had like 2 years where he was Culpepper was balling out hard, and then
I think that was 2004 or something like that.
Yeah, his knee gave him problems. But
I got a bad knee, so I can relate.
Yeah, Mir, your team, dude. Statement.
Where's there to say? Where's there to say? I mean,
unbelievable.
I'm not surprised.
Actually, it's not that unbelievable. Yeah,
it's not. I'm not surprised, dude.
They handled it. The refs helped them out.
What?
Yeah, Jalen Carter.
I was about to agree with you. I heard the kind of process in my mind. I heard refs help them out. That's not true.
Isn't that guy from? Didn't they do something? Found that he was from somewhere or whatever.
Dude, no. It doesn't matter where you're from.
And he'd gotten suspended last year for something in NCAA.
I've heard rumors that Jason Garrett's dad used to be an assistant coach for the Eagles back in the 80s and shit like that. And that's why the Cowboys. What?
Oh, okay. Yeah.
You know Jason Garrett.
Yeah.
There's always rumors floating around, and everyone knows somebody in their family that fucking worked or was around in Philadelphia. So that's why the Eagles win.
I could be confusing it with another game, but I know there was one game where on Twitter it got trending where this ref look at this. But
Okay.
it was a great fourth quarter. I mean, they tied it up basically at the end of the third quarter, right?
Yes.
And then it was looking at that point where it could go either way. And the Eagles basically just dominated the last 15 minutes and won by 2 touchdowns.
We dominated the whole other goddamn game.
You
Okay,
did.
from the
I
start.
mean,
You gotta think honestly though. Our defense is somewhat of a juggernaut, but we were pretty banged up. So it's expected to have a couple of loose screws, during the process. It is very well known going into that game that the Dolphins defense was utter garbage. And they haven't played anyone good all goddamn season. They've only played mid teams and or lower. We were able to showcase to them. It doesn't even take a really good defense because our defense was so banged up to shut those guys down. You just have to be a somewhat decent team, I guess, like mid-range defense, and then you have just a decent offense just to fuck them up because that's what happened. Our offense, and I'm going to be honest here, our offense has been kind of slow the past, it's beginning of the season. It's been a progression. It's been a progress. And it was just very good to see us just be able to just actually finally look like the Eagles we all know and love. It was good to see that. And also at the same time, it showcased to people, if you want to beat the Dolphins, just have a decent offense and a decent defense. They're not that good of a team. They've been playing shitty teams all fucking year, and we showcase that. Our offense is continuously getting better, so we're not actually at our peak right now like the Niners peaked out at. We're not like that.
They're a
finesse. Hang on. We're not peaking out yet. This offense is still continuously growing. We will not peak out. The Dolphins are garbage. Our defense is going to get better with the newcomers we got coming in. We just picked up Julio Jones, who's going to ball the fuck out like it's 2015 again. And then who else is it we picked up recently? Who was the other guy? God damn it, I forgot his name. He's one of the cornerbacks. Or was he a safety? I forgot his name on our defense side.
Oh, you just got that all-pro safety from the Titans.
That's right.
Yeah.
Look out, we're getting dirty, and we just showcase the Dolphins. You don't need much to beat them. All right, that's all I got to say.
Fair enough. I mean, yeah, they're playing well.
Yeah. I would consider right now the Dolphins the third best team in the AFC after the Ravens and Chiefs because the Ravens and Chiefs can play defense. Dude, I would think that if you went to a playoff game, there's a good chance the Jaguars would beat the Dolphins in a playoff game.
Yeah, the Jaguars are good.
Yeah, so.
What was your take on the fucking Chargers losing, though, man? What do you guys think about
Chargers
that?
stink.
That's it.
I mean, the Steelers just keep winning. So what can you do?
The Chargers is that coach. He's an idiot.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Like, I don't think we talked about it last week because the Thursday night game happened. That was the week before. When he in that or whatever the Monday night game, it was a Dallas game. That was Monday night. Yeah. When he went for it on that fourth down, that cost them the game because that 3 points, they just kicked the field goal. And, I was like, this guy does this every week and it blows up in his face. And it's like just, and that team has a ton of talent. If they had a good coach, they'd be battling with the Chiefs. But that guy's just trash, that guy. He's the worst coach in the NFL. Like, if he was on a team that had, like, no talent, they would win, like, no games. Like, he's just lucky he's on a team that has talent.
Dude, here's something for you though. You were like you said earlier, Chow, the Steelers, right?
Yeah, I mean they're winning games.
You and I agreed, ATP earlier. I think it was off show. They're a playoff team, right? Might not get a win, but they're definitely a playoff team.
I said they're a playoff team too. Like I said, I don't think they would do anything once they're in the playoffs, but like I think they can make the playoffs.
What is your take on Pickens and the Pickett duo? I mean, that's honestly fun to watch. I was watching that all Sunday, and that was probably one of my favorite more duos to watch throughout the Sunday process.
I like Pickens because he's an old school receiver to me. Like, now we have all these dink and dunk short passing offenses, and Pickens reminds me of like the old days when you have Cliff Brance or Lynn Swann and guys like that. And he's big too, but he's bigger than those guys. But it's more that he's the kind of guy who get deep and make big plays, right? He's not a guy who's just going to it's not all this dink and dunk, catching 10 passes for 80 yards, Like, he's averaging 18, 19 yards a catch in today's NFL. So I like Pickens a lot, so.
I mean, you
He's
also got to
still
put
up
it behind.
and down, but he's definitely playing a lot better. Like that second half of the Rams game, he played pretty well. But again, their defense really won them the game. The turning point of that game was when Stafford threw that terrible INT right to Watt, and he returned it to like the 7-yard line. And that was like, a 7-yard drive for a touchdown. So.
What about who do you like in that game this week? The Jaguars versus the
it's in Pittsburgh, so
Pittsburgh.
you kind of gotta like Pittsburgh if it's in.
I'm thinking Pittsburgh, dog. Pittsburgh's dirty.
If it was that'd be one of those games I'd take the home team. If it was in Jacksonville, I'd take the Jags. If it's in Pittsburgh, I'd take Pittsburgh.
Pittsburgh's getting points, 2.5. Man, they don't believe in the offense, I guess.
I just want to see this real quick. I'm so drunk. I love it. But anyway, what'd you guys think about the Broncos getting that dub? Holy fuck. I'm actually excited to see this because it tells me they can win games.
I want them to win games because
I do too. They're good.
I want the Raiders to finish last so we get one of those quarterbacks, and I want the Broncos to be stuck with Russell Wilson for another year, especially in a great quarterback draft.
I mean, it's just good to see because they played very close all year with a lot of teams. They have. I mean, you look at their scores.
Let's face it, everyone's looking at that Dolphins game. Outside that Dolphins game, all their games have been pretty close.
Right, exactly. Like,
yeah.
I know he sucks getting blown out by almost 50 points, but
no, the first two games against the Raiders, Washington, they lost by a combined 3 points. They lost by 1 and 2 points. So like, they've been pretty close other than that one game. So, and I know those games happen once in a while. Once in a while, you just kind of like you get your butt kicked. And so, and they weren't ready to play in the heat in September in Miami. A lot of teams aren't. So, what's your take on the Bills losing to the Patriots and Mac Jones looking like Tom Brady?
That's right, boy. I told you, Mac Jones, boy. You can bring us to the promised land one game at a time. All right.
I don't know, man. I thought both those teams weren't going to make the playoffs. I thought,
that can't be milk. That looks so thick. It looks like you're drinking paste, Mir.
It's eggnog.
It's eggnog?
Alcoholic eggnog.
I would say it looks like he's drinking something else.
No.
That's right. Mine was semen.
Someone made white in that cup for you.
Yeah, it's in honor of our fallen brother, Drunk on Cringe, and BYB.
Yes,
and Drunk on Cringe and BYB.
Didn't Drunk on Cringe hang himself because you got
No,
your old...
please don't say that. I really hope he didn't.
I guess
it's a joke. It's a joke.
I feel so bad. I almost feel like it's my fault.
You killed him.
Ray is still in touch with him because he did Ray's merch, and Ray told me, "Nah, he's fine. He just dropped out." So, which is smart. He just got too involved. He got too wound up into it.
That's right.
But he didn't drown himself in the milk. I would have been sad.
I DM'd him once in a while because again, he was another guy who hated Melton, so I liked him. So, and he was just telling right before he dropped out, he was going to Portugal on vacation. So I don't know what he does for a living, but I'm sure it's some tech stuff because he's good at that. So I'm sure he's fine, and I'm sure he's happier not like watching Shuli every day.
He's a good German lad.
Yeah, we'll get him back on here sometime.
Yeah,
it was funny though, like because he has such a deep German accent and he's yelling at Shuli. He's Jewish. It was pretty funny, just like watching that.
Wolfgang von Eisen.
Yeah,
Shuli, I hate start yelling in German.
I yell
better.
German's like the worst language.
Dude. Oh, I love the German language. I love it. It's beautiful.
It's too angry, man. I'm Jewish. I don't like the German
language. Feels good coming off the tongue.
Brings back memories.
It's not like, when you date a French girl or Spanish girl, it's like all sexy. German's not like that.
Do the comps.
No,
I love it. No, let's get back into it though. So we look over the Broncos game real quick. That was honestly an amazing turnaround experience for the Broncos. They'll probably get back into it at some point in time during the season. Good to see Russell Wilson and Sean Payne on the same page, cooking like they should have been all along. It's good to see finally happening.
Dude,
I
Barely
love it.
won.
I gotta take off. So it was nice knowing one of my teams lost, and
Peace out,
now I
girlfriend.
pick the Vikings. So
Yeah, you're a winner
that's
now.
what we
So
learned.
yeah, dope. Thanks, Dalish.
All
We'll
right.
talk to you later.
Nice
Appreciate you.
Bye, David.
Bye. Dude, she's way too good looking to be wearing glasses. Like why wear glasses? Why? I need them too, but like, because it covers up flaws and shit on your face,
But
right?
that's what we do, bro, because we're so good looking, me and her. Yeah, we have to wear the glasses, otherwise it's distracting to the whole show. So
That's right. I won't allow it.
Yeah.
they just get mesmerized by the eyes, bro. So
And we got to get her a cheerleader outfit though.
yeah, she will. She'll get one. I think that's what we were talking about. She's gonna just go for a purple and gold for the Vikings. So
It's okay.
but yeah, unless you can find a Raiders one and send it to her, that's probably would be the fastest way for her to get one, because I have no idea how to find them.
Actually, I think I have a little bit of an idea, because like on that Raiders site I set up, at some point I'm gonna have like a hot chick on the site every like month or whatever.
Nice.
When I really, right now I'm just writing really the content for it, so I don't
Yeah.
care about traffic. But like when I have enough content where I can then promote it, that's what I'll do. So I'll have to. I guess she can be one of the chicks on it, or one of the girls on
Are
it.
there any like IG influencers that are like Raider IG models that are Raiders themed?
No, actually, the one I really want to get on is she's kind of an influencer. She has but she's a porn star, and she was at Caitlin Bell. That was the one who said that she would give Jimmy G free sex for life. And
Nice.
she's got like a huge following on Instagram. And I actually DM'd her a couple of times, and she got back to
Nice.
me, and she was like, "Yeah, I would do it. I'd probably have to pay her a little more than like just some influencer with 50,000 followers on Instagram, right? To go, to do that. But whatever, it'd be good. That would drive some traffic, right? So
There's got to be like some chicks on like IG that have like body painted on jerseys and stuff like that, right?
yeah. And there's enough hot chicks in Vegas where you got to be able, and even LA, like there's so many Raider fans in LA. You got to have these models in LA or whatnot,
Yeah.
who do that sort of thing. So,
Yeah.
Or though, like I know a lot of girls who are Eagles fans now, Mir.
No, we're all straight. We're all
No.
men. We're all men.
I don't think there's any chicks that are Eagles fans.
We're all men here.
No, actually, I know
If
one.
you're a
It's
chick that's a fan,
actually
you're
lives in
definitely
LA
transitioning.
because she's from Philly. So
We're very,
You
we're
just
very
want, like,
sturdy here.
you just want the macho fan base, no girls.
No, we don't want macho. We want dirty and greasy. That's our fan base. All right. Have you ever seen It's Always Sunny in Philadelphia? That's what I want. I want manipulative. I want greasy, homeless almost type people in our stadium. It's a great thing to have. I want you on fentanyl. I want you at least to be somewhat tweaked out to some aspect.
Well, my
Yeah,
favorite
yeah.
show was Trailer Park Boys. So same kind of thing,
Oh yeah, you're Canadian though, so
Yeah, that's our Canadian thing. Well, they're in Halifax. There's no really sports teams out there, though. So,
right.
So
But let's kick into week 8 though, guys. Let's kind of check that out a
Yeah.
little bit. Let's see what's going on in there.
How,
Go ahead.
how are
go
you
ahead.
feeling about your picks thus far this year?
dude, I'm not even. I
decent.
stopped keeping track.
And are you feeling good or bad overall?
I would think.
Decent.
I think I'm about 500 or a little less.
That's what I said
I'm
about
not-
500.
I am not picking the Raiders again though. Okay, that's the first game.
You're done.
Well, I know that's Monday night. We'll do that last, but I'm not picking the Raiders the rest of the year. The hell.
Monday nights, you're done picking them after Monday night.
No, I'm not going to pick them Monday night. No, I'm not picking them the rest of the year.
You're not gonna pick them Monday night, dude. The Lions need to bounce back, man. They might falter even more.
The only issue is that the spread is big, and I could see the Raiders bouncing back a bit too,
Yeah.
and covering that 8-point dog. But like, they're not going to win. No way. So
Okay. All right, I understand that. Oh, damn, dude. I don't know, man. The Lions, though, they're kind of faltering. They got destroyed. I mean, destroyed. And
Well,
now
guess
they're going to face the Raiders. And you guys are somewhat like a little bit like, hey, we got to fucking win our games now. I think you guys want to make a statement and win against these dudes. I don't
Yeah,
know.
Raiders are getting 8 points. So
look,
Prime time.
I think the only way that I know it sounds crazy because it's a 4th round pick. The only hope the Raiders really have, again, is that O'Connell kid plays, because the big issue with their offense is they don't stretch the field. So everyone's just, jamming the box up,
Yeah.
And stopping Jacobs. So you need to hit a couple bombs or deep passes. And Jimmy G has been mediocre. He's throwing too many picks, but he has moved the ball. But it's like he can't stretch the field. So they need like a guy in there. He's the only guy with a big arm. So he's the only guy I could see them doing anything. But in Detroit, his first game, like, okay, they play the Giants the following week. Okay, he could probably beat the Giants at home, right? But like I don't know. I'm taking the Lions, minus.
Lions.
So I guess we
Okay.
should have done that last because it's the Monday night game.
We can work backwards. Yeah.
Yeah.
So.
So.
All right. So you're taking the Lions -8. So you think they're going to win big?
No, I just don't want to pick the Raiders.
I'm taking the Lions. I'm taking the Lions too.
Look, if the Lions had lost like a close, beat each other up game to the Ravens, then I'm like, oh yeah, maybe they'll overlook the Raiders. They're 6-1, this and that. But getting killed by the Ravens, they're going to bounce back because Dan Campbell is going to be like yelling and screaming at them and punching them in the face all week.
I think you're going to see the friendly Lions you have always seen for the past decade, who wasted the careers of Barry Sanders and Matthew Stafford and all those guys, and Calvin Johnson. I think they're going to lose to the Raiders. I'm going Raiders.
When you think about the Lions too, right? You think about how bad they've been, right? It's not like, okay, they're one of these teams like after the Raiders made that Super Bowl, we didn't really have any really good players for a long time too. We had bust draft picks. Other than that cornerback, like Naeem Diashawa, Raiders didn't really have any really top tier players. Like you think about the Lions, that maybe you had the greatest running back in history, right? Maybe the greatest wide receiver in history, and Matthew Stafford's like one of the top 2 or 3 quarterbacks of the last 15 years, or 3 or 4 to 5 quarterbacks. You had these 3 guys, and you just pissed away all the careers. Like, what a terrible franchise,
Yeah, it sucks. And I think they made the playoffs once with Stafford and Calvin Johnson.
I think they made 2 or 3 times that they lost all game. Maybe twice, yeah. I'll look at it.
What? Yeah,
it wasn't
maybe
good, whatever it was.
Yeah, it wasn't good.
I mean, the Vikings and the Packers basically made the playoff almost every year for a while.
Yeah, and the Bears were good with Jay Cutler.
Yeah. So I remember, they definitely made it at least once. And lost.
The Chiefs, ever since that Schottenheimer back in the 90s, the Chiefs were in the playoffs almost every single year, and then would always choke in the playoffs.
Yeah.
Even before he got Mahomes, I don't know if you guys remember that game against the Colts, a playoff game. The Chiefs, it was one of the biggest chokes in NFL playoff history. They had a huge, and then Andrew Luck came in and threw all these touchdowns and stuff. So
fuck, I don't remember that game. I probably watched it. I don't remember it though.
Yeah, it was like I think everyone's kind of forgot about that because they've won a Super Bowl or 2 Super Bowls, but yeah, that was like at that time it was kind of like the way he was perceived. It was like, and this because you're an Eagles fan. Reed was perceived as like I had good regular season, choke in the playoffs. Like that's how he was perceived. Yeah. So,
So we covered those guys. So you 2 got Lions. I got Raiders. Sorry, excuse me.
Okay.
Yeah, you're getting 8 points too. So
yeah,
you're in good position.
Just quickly, so we can keep moving on. Yeah, they made the playoffs 3 times. The Detroit with Stafford, they lost all 3 games. So there you go.
Okay, nice.
Okay.
You're gonna dispute that?
I'll let it slide. I'll let it slide.
We'll let it slide this one time.
We'll let this one slide, David. I got you on your next one though, but don't worry, I'm here to dispute you.
I'm not saying it's Stafford's fault. I'm saying they just made it 3 times with them. I actually think it's not his fault.
Oh, all right.
Yeah.
Have another angry orchard, all right? You angry motherfucker.
Yeah. I'm angry. 30 to 10 to AJ. Or whatever the hell his name is.
Art McDaniels, get him out of here.
Art McDaniels. Yeah, I did that. Come on, I did that a little bit of a joke. So
that won't solve anything. Your guys are fucked for a long time.
They got so many problems. It's like whatever. I give it.
It starts with management, and I like. Go ahead. I'm sorry.
The problem with Davis, the owner, is actually he's turned into a way better businessman than I ever thought he would be.
Really?
His dad was a football. Yeah, well, dude, look they're in Vegas. They make tons of money. Like that part of it is actually fine now, but He just needs some football guy that says, "Shut up, don't do anything. I'm not talking about a general manager. I mean like a vice president of football operations, some kind of thing like that. That says, I'm hiring the coaches. You're not making any football decisions at all. Like that's what he needs.
You think he's starting to get that Jerry Jones persona where I know better than anybody else? I know what I'm doing.
No. He actually admits he doesn't know anything. But the problem is, like when it comes to coaches, he's horrible. He just hires retreads like Jack Del Rio, Gruden, and now McDaniels. He's got to hire either a young coordinator or go with a guy like Harbaugh that's like a proven winner.
I heard Gruden was doing good, but I heard Gruden was actually doing somewhat decent with you guys.
Or our offense was good, but I don't know what. No, the part of the reason the team's where they are is that Gruden and Mayock drafted. They blew all those picks that they got from Mac, and they all them bums. Henry Ruggs, and two of the guys are in jail basically.
Well, Henry Ruggs was awesome, but he decided to burn someone alive in a car. So that
but Arnett, the corner they took from Ohio State, like that guy is he's like a thug. He's like in jail now. So,
Hey man, sometimes you need thugs. They're the most hard ass motherfuckers on this.
And then that what's his name?
Look at Ray Lewis.
That offensive tackle they took in the first round, the guy from Bama. Like he's not even in the league anymore. Like he got cut after the second or first year, and then the Bears cut him, which says a lot because the Bears have like the worst offensive line in the league.
That's trash. Yeah.
And then he's not even in the league anymore. So, and let's
just
go on
don't have good leaders.
Oh no, the weird thing about the Raiders is just to go on before we start is that again, like they have like 4 to 5 top tier players. Like obviously the 3 obvious ones or 2 obvious ones are Crosby and Adams, and then Colton Miller, our left tackle, is now one of the best 4 or 5 left tackles in the league. So and then you could Jacoby Myers is probably top 3 or 4,
he's good.
Second, number 2 now because the way he's played. So it's like you have these really good players, but
you got a great foundation.
The rest of the roster is like we have no depth and at certain positions and the
bad leadership.
Bad leadership, the defense, and like Chandler Jones, that's another typical Raider, and those guys knew Jones had a screw loose, so don't sign him to $15 million a year, dude, they had to, here's something funny. They had to shut down the Raiders, chat in their, on their YouTube page in the press conference this week because Chandler Jones was in there spamming.
Yeah, he's a G, bro. Hey, his brother just dropped out of the main event or the heavyweight championship. So,
who did?
John Jones. He was supposed to fight Stipe in December, and they canceled it for an interim. Now they have an interim. I think he has a torn pec.
No!
Yeah.
Oh no!
Those guys are both old, but let's jump off the Raiders because they just suck so bad now.
I love the Raiders too, man. Let's get back into it. So Raiders 1993. I kind of want to die. I'm kidding. Go ahead.
But well, one thing the Vikings have actually, let's do the Vikings game. But one thing that they've attributed their wins to is they're listening to Creed. Have you guys heard this?
Play it.
No, I'm not gonna play it. But there's this the song Creed or whatever, the band.
Oh yeah.
They're like a pop from like the early 2000s.
I've heard of them.
Yeah, so they've been blasting that shit in the locker room, and everyone like goes nuts, and it's like a meme. And the last 2 games they've been doing it, like Kirk Cousins, like
Creed.
Yeah, because it's like Kirk Cousins' favorite band, so everyone's like laughing about it and playing it. And they had 2 big games, bro. Yeah. So they ask him about it in like the press conferences after the game all the time, and he's like, "Yeah, we're blasting it, and the team got hyped." So I don't know, man. That's like a meme thing. Like last year, he had the chains. This year, it's like the Creed thing.
I saw
maybe that could give him a run.
10. Who was that chain thing they gave him? It said like top 10 or something.
Yeah, that was one of Jefferson's. Like he just ran over and put it on him. So. Because he's got all that shit. But that game started, I think the Packers were favored, and now it's flipped. Vikings are -1, and it's in Green Bay. So the Vikings are favored.
You're fucking them up. You think
Packers
so? Packers are done, dude. Packers just lost the Broncos. They're deflated. They're going home. They haven't played well at home, honestly, to some extent. And I haven't seen great things from Jordan Love. He's going to kind of falter, and Kirk Cousins is riding hot. Addison's on a fucking high. Your team's on a high. They're playing Creed in the locker room. Packers are done for.
I think too, if you look at the Packers' losses, the last two, like Raiders and Broncos, it's like they've lost close to two pretty crappy teams. So now with the Vikings playing well, like
They're good.
yeah, I just think like I think this is going to be. I think it's going to be maybe a multiple score win for the Vikings. I know it's in Green Bay, but I just don't see it because Jordan Love is playing so bad too.
Yes. You know what I'm seeing right now? I'm seeing 2021 Vikings right now, man.
You think it's going to be a 1-point game? I think it's going to be. I think you're right. I think it's going to come down to being a game that's real close, like the line is, and because they always just kind of play down to. I don't know if you want to say, even if the Packers are bad, they'll play down to them, and somehow the Packers will, somehow be like 13-14 or something, like going into the fourth quarter or something stupid where they force a turnover and get. I don't know. I could see it happening, but.
It could happen, but it
I
ain't
think
gonna
if
happen.
it's close, it will be like you guys are winning by 10 and they score a touchdown with like a minute left, to make it look closer than it is. No, I think this is going to be your coming out party,
Yeah, because Green Bay. Yeah, I'll take the Vikings.
You need to take the Vikings, dude. You're on a high right now. Look at your team. You guys are good. Dude, like I told you, 2021, 2022, this team is actually good. This is the final year you guys will have a chance to make the Super Bowl with Kirk Cousins and your team what it is. Once Kirk Cousins is gone, it's going to be a while before you guys go back to the Super Bowl.
They're going to re-sign Cousins, man.
What?
I don't.
That's what they're saying now.
What?
They want to re-sign him and get him a good deal and do it in conjunction with Jefferson.
Hear any of this? What?
Yeah, everyone. That's how crazy this game was. It flipped. People are now like all these fans that were saying. Yeah, know what it is.
Okay, hang on. Okay, I get you guys beat the 49ers, but they didn't have Debo. Did McCaffrey play at all?
Yeah, he had 2 touchdowns.
But he fumbled.
Okay.
He had a fumble, but yeah, that didn't help.
He had one touchdown. Game. McCaffrey had 1 touchdown.
He had
passing too. Yeah, passing. Yeah. Okay. So yeah, receiving and that's it. I mean, I get it. Yeah, I get it. Resign him, but fuck, dude. I got to see you guys beat one more great team. I mean, and it's gonna be immense. You guys face another great team. Your schedule's kind of weak right now, right?
Yeah, I think they got them. Well, just see how they play. I mean, the line's playing good, so
the Falcons in Atlanta will probably be tough for the Vikings. That's a week after this. But no, I just think they're gonna
they play well down there.
Yeah,
we'll see if they have back.
Shit.
Let's see. They could maybe grab a guy here at the trade deadline. The Vikings do like to trade at the trade deadline and get guys for cheap.
Right.
Kind of like the Eagles like to do and grab guys off.
No, we grab Hall of Famers off the deadline. That's what we do.
Yeah, like Cousins is leading the league in touchdown passes. So there you go. Like he's having.
Well, yeah.
So I think he'll get re-signed to a 2 to 3 year deal, right? Because then just finish his career there.
I mean, how old is he? 34 now? 36?
They either have to blow it up completely
35.
and trade away guys this year, or they have to like work out a deal with him to stay because he's got $30 million in dead cap hit next year. So if they don't re-sign him, basically their cap's going to be kind of messed up next year.
Yeah, sorry.
Yeah, and that could be renegotiated if they re-sign him. So that's what you were talking about earlier.
That's what happened to the Bucs this year, like because of the way these contracts are structured. They have this huge, even though the Bucs are half decent this year, but they have like this. I think like Brady's got a $35 million dead cap this year, so and he's not obviously not even playing. So that's kind of why they had to go on the cheap and get like get Mayfield. You make Mayfield's making like, $7 million this year or something, right? So, which for a starting quarterback is very low in the NFL. Actually, Mayfield's cap number this year is only 1.7. I think it's like the contract overall is like 7 a year, but most of it's next year because of because of Brady not being on the team. So,
yeah, so that it's crazy how fast things have shifted from Drake May and Caleb Williams and McCarthy and all these guys to now. They really should re-sign them. maybe they can convince him to take a little bit less, and then Jefferson signs in conjunction because they like each other a lot, and then boom, you sign Daniil Hunter. It's like who knows, man. It's like the fans are going crazy.
This is crazy. Like you said, fans are going crazy. I just read something saying that people are saying that Kyle Shanahan's he might be interested in looking at Kirk Cousins coming to the 49ers because he was kind of in talks trying to draft him back in like 2014, 2013, whenever Kirk Cousins got drafted and whatnot. So
I could see that. What happens if Purdy fades? They'll go like, okay, and
they work together at Washington. So they all, and actually what's his face? O'Connell worked with them there too. So they've always been rumored as a team that has wanted Cousins. And there's always been a rumor. It's always like, well, he's the guy who likes them, and maybe they'll trade for him. But who knows at this point? He's getting older, and
he's 35.
Yeah. But I guess a lot of guys like him, especially on that tree of like Shanahan. McVay was there when he was in Washington, so they all these new age quarterback coaches
know of him.
And know he's easy to work with and knows how to deliver basically what their plays.
The only issue I would say with that is I'm looking at the Niners cap right now. It looks like the way they structured everything is they really they have like no space next year. They've really like made all the guys have their big cap numbers next year.
Yeah.
So so that would be an issue because you're going to have to pay Cousins, even if he takes like a cheap deal.
He's looking for something though. He's still balling. I bet he's looking for some type of money though. He's hitting 35. This is probably his last big contract.
30 million. I would say 30 million. I think he'll take a little less because he is a veteran and he wants to win.
Right.
But I would say 30.
But you still want to make your money though at this point.
Yeah.
This is like your last contract, and you're coming off a good year.
He's not like Brady. He doesn't have a supermodel wife who makes more money than him.
Ex-wife.
Yeah. So.
We gotta keep formal here.
Okay, so let's go on to the Eagles.
No, I don't want to do Eagles. God damn, we're gonna lose so bad.
No, minus 6.5 at Washington. I gotta take the Eagles.
I don't know. Stop. I can't. No. Okay, hang on. You gotta hear this. Eagles. Everyone always says, we got the Washington Redskins or Commanders, the commies. We got them. I don't know what the fuck it is, but those motherfuckers have our number. Last year with Taylor Heineke, they fucking worked us. It was disgusting to watch, and I hated every aspect of it. This is one of the things they do. They always come alive when the Eagles are on a high, and we're on a high right now. We just beat Miami. That was a huge fucking win for us. We're balling. We're firing on all cylinders. Our defense is looking good again. We're fucking just killing it. And Washington's going to come in, and I'm calling it. They're going to fucking not beat the fuck out of us, but they're going to beat us in a close game. I'm going Washington.
Nah, I think that look.
Dude,
I'd have to. I remember that Washington game you're talking about where they beat you guys last year, right? But let me go look at the second game. 1 second. Where was it? No, see, but the first game they beat Washington 24-8 last year. Everyone always remembers the one upset game, right? But it's like. Washington played you guys super great, close and great the first game. So now I just think your defense is playing better now. Your offense is playing better now. You're going to crush them. They just lost 14-7 to the disgusting New York Giants. So I got to go.
Giants are good again, dude. But all right.
The Giants beat a couple crappy teams. That's what just like the Raiders did. So
I'll take the points.
All right.
But
I'm going Washington, bro.
I'll take Washington too, but the Eagles have been that was impressive how they it was close and then they slammed the door and covered big with 2 touchdowns in the fourth quarter. So they are a team where if it's like they're not just in close games, they can win big. So I'm not afraid to pick them, but I do like just Washington because it's a home game for them and it's division. So it'll be close.
I'm gonna switch my pick. I'm going to Eagles because I have to. I'm an Eagles fan.
Yeah. I mean, it's a.
I can't do my team like that.
I think
like you, David.
I like Washington with the points.
R.I.P. Raiders.
Good. My team's shit. So
home dogs.
I like picking against my team because if they win, you're happy, and if they lose, you're happy because you won the bet. So I like that.
So I don't know if you guys saw before we get into the wild card game. that Chad picks games every week on
Yeah,
his show.
tell me about that. I gotta hear about that. I haven't
So
heard about this
Chad
yet.
picks the whole lineup of games, and I was looking at his picks because
Can you pull up a screen of it?
Yeah, let me pull it up.
Yeah, pull it up on the screen.
Tukey was talking about it.
No, what he did is he made a counter tracker, or he just put all of his picks up, and then he bet a parlay with the opposite of all of his picks. and I think he took some individuals too, but where the hell is that thing? Basically, dude, Chad picked every single game. He just picked the favorite, except for the game that Detroit was a underdog in Baltimore, and that game was over like 10 minutes into the game.
You're right.
So
does he pick every game, or does he?
Yeah, he picks every one. So I'll pull up.
It's like a full pick thing.
But he just picked whoever was whoever was giving points. So he picked a lot of picked against a lot of the home teams that were underdogs, and the public got killed last week. I think the top 8 games that the public bet on online was all
Bills,
basically
Patriots, probably.
Yeah, all the favorites lost. So let me pull this up as a present.
Yeah.
But I mean, I guess we could break down Chad's picks.
Yes, let's definitely. Can I take a piss while you pull it up real quick, buddy?
Yeah.
Cool.
Actually, we'll talk about this while he takes his piss, right? Chow.
Yeah.
I was watching a bit of Win by Two when he was covering the show and some of the stuff I was saying, and he was actually criticizing Mir for that. He was saying,
all the time.
Yeah, you used to be like 5 times a show. I sit there, I do 5 hours, I only have to go once. I'm like, what? And I like
part of the show.
I like him, but it's like, who really cares if like someone's going out a few times a show to take a pee, right? What the hell, you know?
Yeah, no. I mean, for us, it's kind of just the style. It's loose. Keep it loose when we're going. So I don't mind it, but
okay,
yeah. If you look,
I just went full screen on my computer because I want to look at these. Z-Man 3 and 9.
Yeah. So he picked all the games. The Raiders, favored by 2.5 on the road. Detroit was the only underdog he took +3, and then the rest it's all. Oh, I guess he took the Rams. He took. I guess he won Seattle. He got all those 8.5 points, but that game was actually kind of close. I'm surprised. I didn't watch it, so I'm surprised Seahawks won or covered. But
oh my God, he lost everyone but like 3.
Yeah, so he won 3. He won the Chiefs.
I don't think the Seahawks did cover. I think he lost that game.
Did he? Yeah, I can't remember that game because I didn't really pay attention to it. But I remember it kind of being close.
Yeah, it was close for us. No, I think the Seahawks pulled away right at the end. Yeah. So let me go look at it.
Look at that real quick and see. Like, do some in journalism right here, ATP.
My stat nerdism. Okay, go on.
Get kicking that shit, man. Tell me if he actually covered that shit.
They won by 10. Yeah, so
Ooh.
it was one of those games where it was a lot closer. It's 20-10, but
yeah, I think it was like 17-10, and then they kicked a field goal right at the end just to kind of like
solidify it.
It was actually 14-10 at halftime. It was 17-10. Yeah, with 2 minutes left in like the fourth quarter, the Seahawks kicked that field goal to go 20-10. So there you go.
Oh wow! So Chad barely snuck away.
Barely
got in there. Yeah. So
he basically 2 and whatever.
So he was 3 and 9.
Barely.
So, yeah, but
we'll count 2 and 10.
We'll keep track of this too. I just thought it was funny because I actually DM'd him before the game started, or maybe right as the game started, and I was like, "Dude, did you seriously pick all the favorites for every game except one?" And he didn't respond, but of
course he didn't.
Yeah, he's
embarrassed.
He's gonna be up basically by like the border of Canada doing a show with on an Indian reservation with Nick Swartzen. So big ups to him, bro. That's gonna be dope, bro.
Like, wait, what? For real?
Yeah, he's coming to Minnesota and doing this casino show that's sold out, I guess. And I was like, oh shit, maybe I'll try to like head up there. And it's like way up, like at the up by like Fargo, North Dakota, like hours and hours from me. So
yeah,
I would have gone to say what up, but not for that.
Yeah. This comedy show. Come on.
Actually, one pick that, and remember our preseason picks.
Mm-hmm.
My Seattle being a sleeper in the West is actually looking good. Yet the 49ers keep, kind of swooning. They're only half game behind right now.
Yeah, I guess I haven't really watched them enough. I don't know.
Talking about the Niners?
Seattle
no, the Seahawks.
Seahawks. Okay.
Yeah, but they're only half game behind the 49ers now.
I haven't watched them at all.
I've seen them a little bit.
I've been paying attention more to the Cardinals than the Seahawks. Shit, and they're garbage.
I haven't even really watched the Seahawks because the problem being a Raiders fan is they're usually, Seahawks is 4 West Coast teams, so usually play at the same time, right? So, and Mir and I were talking about this off the air before this game. The problem is when you on Sunday afternoon you watch your team for that one time slot,
then you're stuck with it,
and then you kind of watch all the other games,
right?
Like after that, so. Whatever.
But David, let's dive back into the Raiders though, okay? Since he's gone.
Oh, dude, I don't want to talk about the Raiders.
Come on, man, he's gone. We can still talk about our favorite team together. I'm a Raiders fan. If you did not know that,
I'm gonna take my jacket. Well, first of all, the 2 craziest fan bases are the Raiders and the Eagles. The Eagles, yeah, that's like the 2 most psycho.
Okay, so plan
Browns
A.
Back in the day when they had the dog pound, but like
plan A, real quick. Plan A. Well, not plan A, but QB plan. Do you keep Hoyer, McConnell, or any Garoppolo motherfuckers, or do you just tank hard and then keep? What?
No, they'll keep O'Connell even if they draft a guy because they'll have O'Connell as the backup, right?
Okay, yeah.
But Hoyer's gone because
Hoyer's gone, but Garoppolo's gone after this year. You think?
The problem is he has a bit of a cap hit. And the one thing about Jimmy G, he is if you remember last year.
Yeah,
he was the same thing. He was going to make 20 or 30 mil, and he knocked it down to like 8 because he knew he was going to be the backup, and then Lance got hurt, and then he started and played well. So I would say that if they drafted a guy, I could still see, and they keep McDaniels as coach, I could see Jimmy G saying, "Hey, just pay me like 8 to 10 a year," and this, because I don't really want to, You got to know Jimmy G's loving Vegas.
Yeah, he's getting hella pussy. That guy looks like a fucking Greek statue. What do you think about Devontae Adams dropping that game? I watched that game. Game-winning touchdown, bro.
It wasn't game-winning, but dude,
could have been.
He pissed me off as much as McDaniels because he melted off all week about they got to throw me the ball more and blah blah blah. And then you drop an easy pass like that, it's like ridiculous.
You did say though it wasn't easy. It's on your fingertips. It's catchable. It is catchable. It's not easy, but it's catchable.
The best receiver, or top 3 receiver in the league. You got to catch that, man. That's it.
Right.
And I saw him going like this afterwards, like the sun was in my eyes. Don't give me that shit.
I think he's gone after this year. He's done. He's gone.
I would say it would matter. Again, if they were to get a top tier coach like Harbaugh and maybe pick one of those top tier quarterbacks, I could see him one more year. But if they stick with McDaniels, I think he'll want out. And I don't think his dead cap is that bad next year. And he's still good enough they'll get a first round pick for him. So
do you guys think King Henry's any good anymore? Or do you think he's still somewhat of a viable trade opposition for the tight ends to trade out of? Because I know Tannehill's done. Tannehill sucks. He's garbage.
Tannehill is done.
There's a lot of Vikings fans who there's rumors of Henry coming to the Vikings.
What? You guys got Henry possibly coming?
Well, I mean, you know how these fans are on YouTube. They make the rumors. So
who was you guys' running back that you guys let go of? That was insane. I forgot. Cook. Yeah, Dalvin Cook. Yeah, he went to the Jets. R.I.P. Dalvin Cook. Fuck, that sucks.
I'm looking at Henry's stats.
There's a rumor he might be coming back too.
He's coming back.
Yeah, because now they have Breece Hall and he knows the offense. He's got better hands than Madison. He's a little getting old, but
I think you guys got rid of him at the right time. Like he's kind of dropped off a cliff this year.
He wasn't worth the money,
Yeah.
Because he got Zach Wilson's fucking QB, bro.
No, but the other guy's running great, Breece Hall. So I think.
Yeah, you're right. Yeah.
I think if he was on the Vikings, he would be probably better than Madison, to be honest. But because he can catch the ball a little bit, but I'd rather have like Henry just for a rental player. Henry, do it on the Vikings.
Could you imagine King Henry, dude? That'd be nuts. I'd be like, all right.
Because he can pass too. Like they always run that option play where he throws it, throwing it to Addison or Jefferson.
So that's a possible thing, man. Possibly, right? That's a possibility, possibly.
Yeah, dude,
Mir Eagles should have. Don't get me Swift. Swift is awesome, but imagine Henry running that option with.
I
Like,
know.
Hurts.
No, I'm going Swift
would
all
be
day, dude.
like-
Swift is
Swift is
dirty.
good.
Swift is insane. Swift is
Yeah,
nuts.
so-
How is it for you watching the Eagles play so good? Like, is it nuts?
For me,
Yeah, for both of you, just like witnessing
I
your
had-
teams and just seeing the Eagles play so good. And I'm a huge fan. You know, you got a friend. You got a
But
guy
no,
who's a fan.
I had a feeling they were going to win that game like that, and the reason being was it was I think like I'm an old school football guy, so I believe you win in the trenches, right?
Right.
And Miami is they got that fun offense, but Miami is a finesse team, and they can't pass the ball like the Eagles can, right? Can't pound the ball like the Eagles can, and can't stop the run, and like they don't have the defensive line. So I just think whenever you get that big defensive team against the finesse team, you always go with that team with the defense and Eagles also have a good offensive line, like the team with the offensive defensive line,
Right.
etc. Imagine that Hurts didn't throw that interception return touchdown. You guys would have really blown them out. You know?
Right.
Yeah.
Exactly.
Yeah,
That's
yeah,
what
yeah.
worries me. Hurst is still
Yeah.
fucking up.
You know.
We gotta watch that shit. But anyway,
I'd be super confident if I had Hurts. Like when I'm playing against Hurts, I'm like, dude, even if he's had some bad plays, I'm always like, well, I know this guy's good enough to win the game, even if they're down 10.
Dude, when I'm playing with
14.
Hurts on Madden, dude, it's just nuts.
I mean, he makes great plays, highlight plays, and doesn't make tons of mistakes.
What I was most impressed with was shutting down those two receivers for the Dolphins. Because one thing, the Dolphins live by the big play, and they didn't have any of those 50, 60, 70-yard plays.
Well,
You know?
you mean by offensive standards, correct?
Yeah. Like, no, you guys totally shut down that big play offense. Like,
I mean, what do you expect though? Who they played on defense this whole entire
yeah, but
fucking year?
they can really run it up on most teams. Like,
What, the Denver Broncos, the worst defense in the league? That's why they
Yeah, but
dropped 70 on them.
I guess the Panthers, whatever. I'm looking at some of these teams.
Yeah, let me look at some of this shit. Who are you
Actually,
talking
now
about?
that you
They
are
play good
right, now you're
defense?
saying that you are right. It's like
Who the
all
fuck are
their-
you talking about, bro? I don't know.
No, you are right. Actually, all their huge offensive games are like Chargers, who have one of the worst defenses in the league. Giants, who even with last week against, have a porous defense.
Right.
And Panthers. Like, yeah, you're right. All their big games are against these like kind of crap. Well, there's an interesting game. They're playing the Patriots at home. Mac Jones just looked like Tom Brady for a week, and they beat the Bills. I could see the Patriots going down in there and winning.
That's true. But that goes back to my point, though.
I
Dolphins, you don't?
I don't see the Patriots beating the
Bill
Dolphins in Miami.
Bill Belichick is no one to snooze over, and neither is Mac Jones. Those guys will get something going, possibly in some aspect.
We should go to a Miami game, ATP.
They're playing the Raiders next month, but I don't want to go because they're going to kick the Raiders' ass. So I really I'd rather go to a neutral game. Like, I went to this game. I was dating this cute little Bohemian girl, in 2009, right? And I know because people think of me. I was like 30, she was like 25 or something like that. Anyhow, so I was 32, she was 25. Anyhow, I have to say that because I don't need mountains trolls out there, right? Anyhow, and they played the Colts on Monday night. You got to go look it up. It's the craziest box score you've ever seen. The Colts won the game like 27-23 or something.
Yeah.
And the Dolphins had like 42 minutes in possession. And what happened was Manning hit. You remember Dallas Clark, the tight end, right?
Yeah.
Manning hit Dallas Clark like 2 60-yard touchdowns. And literally like the Colts won with like I'm telling you, like 16 minutes in possession. It was a crazy game, So I think that's the last time I went to a game. That stadium's in the middle of nowhere, though.
What year was that?
2009.
The last time you went to a game was in 2009?
No, in Miami.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
I was like, damn, dude.
I'm not a Dolphins fan, so. Have you ever been to that stadium, man?
No, I've only been to Philadelphia and St. Louis and
It's in
whatnot.
the middle of
Jones Dome and
nowhere.
all that shit.
It's.
I haven't
like,
been to a lot of football stadiums either, to be honest. Yeah, because
I've only been to 2.
I've been to the Bears a lot and the Vikings a lot, and the two Vikings, the Metrodome and the new one.
Yeah.
But
Right.
Dude, I'm such a nerd. The game 27-23. I'm actually looking it up now. So I can't remember.
27-3.
27-23. Like I was just,
Okay.
like I just said. Yeah, the Dolphins had 45 minutes in time of possession, and the Colts had 15, and the Colts won because Manning hit a couple of these really big pass plays. So yeah, he hit Dallas Clark 80 yards. I don't know if you remember Pierre Garçon. He hit him for 50 yards. So that was like basically why they won the game. But dude, that stadium is it's not like if it was kind of close to the city or Fort Lauderdale. I'm telling you, man, it's so far out in the middle of nowhere. The place you got to stay is, the Hard Rock that's near Fort Lauderdale. It's like a famous hotel. Like that's where you would have to stay because that's kind of close to the stadium. Like that, you could jump in a Uber or a cab or whatever and be at the stadium in 20 minutes. But if you rent a car, if you're either in Miami or Lauderdale, it's going to take you over an hour easy to get to the stadium.
dude, the New Year's Eve, the Sunday night game is Vikings hosting the Packers. That'd be a dope game to go to, but I think for New Year's Eve I'm gonna be.
When was the last time you went to a Vikings game, Chow?
I went to the Colts game last year.
Colts
where they were
Vikings?
down 31-0, and they ended up.
Oh
winning.
my! You saw that? No
yeah,
way,
yeah,
dude.
yeah,
My
yeah.
buddies went to that game. You went and saw that shit. My buddies saw that shit. Oh shit.
Yeah,
You guys-
yeah, it was good.
You guys want a really good laugh? You know whose birthday is New Year's Eve? Captain Morgan.
Oh shit, we should
Good
Like
stream
the
it.
worst guy in the world to have a birthday New Year's Eve.
We should do a watch along for that Vikings Packers game if they're either of them still relevant because that's the second to last week.
I'm not a big New Year's guy. I usually just have some people over and that's it.
I'm not either.
I don't go out, but
I'm old.
I was trying to see if there's like a late season game in Miami, like a good one. But their last week game of the season or that New Year's game they're playing in Baltimore.
Yeah, and they're playing in Miami against the Bills on Jan 7th. Oh, they got
might not be
Cowboys
bad.
December 24th around Christmas.
Yeah,
You don't want to fly Florida.
I know
Christmas.
that's me fucking
Same
shit
thing here.
show.
It's horrible. Well, I always wanted to go to that Bahamas Bowl, the bowl game they have here, right?
And
Yeah.
the Bahamas Bowl?
Yeah, they have a
What?
Bahamas. It's like two lesser college teams.
Yeah.
A few years ago, it was like an insane comeback game. But anyhow, I always kind of want to go there, but it's always that Christmas weekend and travel so crazy and stupid. I don't like to travel in the Bahamas around Christmas, but I think this year it's a little earlier. I think this year it's like December 18th or something. So
Was it
I might-
UAB beating Miami 24-20?
no, this was like a super high scoring game. It was like two lesser known colleges.
49-48, 2014.
40.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Central Michigan and Western Kentucky.
Yeah, that's it. Yeah.
Okay.
yeah. I'm looking up the Rose Bowl because I've been to that a couple times.
You've been to the Rose Bowl?
Yeah.
Oh, shit.
Yeah,
That's like-
I got a relative who was like works on like the committee or whatever for like the parade.
Awesome.
So
How was
they
that?
always
Was
hook me up.
Was it hype as fuck?
Yeah, man. I went
I love that stadium, and it's got the mountains around. It's in Pasadena.
so dope, bro.
Yeah.
Yeah, that I went the year when it was Vince Young, but not the national championship year. It was the year before when they played Michigan, and they had a huge comeback in the game. It was like Braylon Edwards was on Michigan, and Vince Young like ran for 2 touchdowns in the fourth quarter.
I got a real question for you two guys, since you guys have probably been to college games before. What's more hype, honestly? Like just the atmosphere, college or professional NFL games?
I think
honestly?
college.
Is it just
I think so.
on a different scale?
Yeah, college. Yeah.
I've never been to a college game, so I don't know.
Dude, I actually went so in 2007. So this is a different year. I saw the Ravens play the Dolphins. So we had nothing to do like the Saturday before the game, and Miami wasn't that good this year. So Miami's playing Duke. We're like, let's go watch them play Duke, right? And it was the last year they played in the Orange Bowl, right? Because Miami now plays in the same stadium that the Dolphins play in, right? And dude, the Orange Bowl was in the scariest neighborhood you ever seen in your life, man. Like it was like I remember we parked in front of a bar that all bars in it. And I was just like, we're gonna get mugged walking to the stadium. It was like, other than maybe seeing the Yankees in the Bronx, I was like, this is like the scariest place I've ever seen a
You
game.
should walk through St. Louis going to the Busch Stadium, bro. Be hype for you, man. Come through St.
Louis has
Louis,
got some
buddy.
tough areas, man. So
Yeah, that's right. We'll kill you real quick. But anyway, let's get back into the wild card.
Yeah, should we talk about
I'm
the
kidding,
last pick of the week that we're trying to nail in? I mean,
Yeah,
the
let's nail
Vikings
that
game
in.
is the tightest game of the week. Only
let's
1 point.
Let's talk about that for a second. What was it?
I mean, we kind of talked about, but the Vikings are in Green Bay. Green Bay is they're shaky all over, but they're well coached enough, and they're the home team, so that's why I think it's going to be close. But
Green Bay's had a lot of injuries on the offensive line, so they've had because I like Dillon, the running back, right?
yeah, he's good,
and Jones, but
Jones
those guys have
good.
had real problems running the. Well, Jones has been more injured, but Dillon, because it just looks to me like that offensive line's not opening them any holes really. Like they're just they're having real problems with that, and Love's just not good enough of a quarterback to carry the team.
I don't trust him right now. Do you trust him long term at all, or do you kind of look elsewhere during this draft that's about to pop up for it?
I think they're going to exercise, his option, for So I'm laughing at my damn door making noise.
No, you're good, buddy. No worries.
Yeah. Guys. I think that next year he's going to be on his 5th year, rookie contract thing, his extension. So I think they'll go with him for 1 more year, and then. But if let's say they're really bad this year, everyone's hyping up this year's quarterback draft. Like there's going to be 5, 6, 7 guys in the first
insane
round.
shit, like possibly like cornerstone, foundational players that will change the career path of your fucking team.
It's like that 83 draft with Elway and Marino, and,
right?
All those guys. So it's kind of like if you're the Packers and you finish, 6-11 or 5-12, it's kind of like one of those quarterbacks is going to be there. That would give you like 8. You probably would have to do it.
Is it the rumors true that Caleb Williams is dipping out of this draft?
I think the issues are twofold. Number one, he doesn't play very well against the ranked teams. I saw the stat. I think I sent it to you guys in DM.
Yeah.
He's like really mediocre against the good competition. And then people don't like the size factor because they're seeing the way that Bryce Young kind of struggling and kind of looks too small. And Kyler Murray's had problems with injuries because he's small.
He's coming back. Yeah, but go ahead.
Yeah, so I think that Williams might be dipping because of that. So
he kind of looks like Dak, right? Did you see that face morph thing? That one,
he's like, yo, we got
that gave
bro.
me concern because
it
was the face it transformed into Dak's face, and they looked a lot alike. So
Dak's a fucking joke. Prescott is garbage. He always will be garbage. He is a poor man's Tony Romo.
Hey, man,
if he wished he was Tony Romo's poor man.
I'm an LSU fan. I think Daniels is going to win the Heisman. He's been smoking it.
I think Sanders is. Shooter Sandals? Whatever his name is?
No.
Dude, he's good, bro. He's NFL quarterback.
No. But I don't think he's going to come out this year for that reason.
No, he's waiting until next year.
Yeah, he'll wait till next year. So that's what I'll do. And let's face it, next year they should be better too because you'll have another year of recruiting, Dion. Yeah. So they should be more like a 7-8 win team. So that will help them as well, right?
Right.
It's very rare that some quarterback goes in the top 5.
Shooter Sanders. I'm sorry, man. I don't know that kid's name, but it's all respect.
Shador.
Oh, that's his name, Shador?
I think.
Did he drive like a Bentley or something?
Jesus, that's disgusting. Bentleys are trash, bro. If you're gonna drive something nice, drive yourself a freaking Exige, freaking Elise, man. Those things are sexy.
I don't mind Bentleys, but they're for like older gentlemen. They're not.
Yeah. You want to be young and cool. Drive a nice, Elise, Lotus Elise, something nice and British.
I love this.
You know what I'm saying, Mike?
My uncle had one of those actually.
You did? He had a Elise or an Exige?
Dude, I wanted
to get a Lotus Elise or something.
2017 or 19?
No. He had this 10, 15 years ago. It was dope. Yeah.
They're fun cars, fun little sports cars.
I wanted to get a Lotus Esprit forever because that was the car that Roger Moore had in The Spy Who Loved Me. The one that was when it was also the submarine.
Yeah.
Right? The DeLoreans based their car off that actually. The body of a DeLorean was based off that. Yeah. So.
Yeah, I was looking at cars today.
Yeah, you got me looking at cars. You guys were all
we started talking about that today.
Yeah, I was like, I should get rid of my A-bar. Then I was like, nah, I like that thing.
How the nail in your he had the big Mir had the biggest.
I had to get a whole new tire, man, and everything. Yeah,
that one's too big to plug. Yeah, so.
Yep, that thing was fucked. But anyway, let's get back into it, though. So we got our wild card game, though, guys. So let's look at the schedule for next
looking
week,
at
and let's
mine.
choose our wild card that we want to go with.
I think I knew what I was going to do here. There's two now that I saw two. Okay, I'm going two. I'm going to go Bengals over 49ers to cover. It's plus 3.5 for the 49ers.
Yep.
So I think maybe the Niners win, but it could be a 3-point game. And I'm going Bears over Chargers.
Yes, sir. That Tyler Bagnett, bro. That fucking two's division guy.
Chargers are 8.5 favorites. Get that crap out of here, man. You know, even if the Chargers win, it ain't going to be a blowout. You know?
Right. That defense, bro, they're falling apart, guaranteed.
And one thing the Bears had even before the Raiders game, the Bears have a really good run offense. And I think the Chargers have one of the worst run defenses in the league. So you know that I'm just looking at the stats right now. You know the Bears are going to run like crazy on them, right? So
yeah, and they're going to allow Tyler to feed into what he does well, just run off the pass and just pass that shit off.
Actually, the Chargers pass offense is their weakness. They have the worst pass offense in the league.
Yeah,
so I have corrected there. So or pass defense. The Chargers have the worst pass defense in the league. You know, they're 31st in yards overall. So yeah, the Bears are going to be able to move the ball. And any game in Los Angeles, as we know, when the Chargers, especially the Rams too, but especially Chargers, that is good. And you know, there's tons of Bears fans down there. That's going to be a home game for the Bears. You know,
it's always a home game at a Chargers fucking game, guaranteed for any other team they're playing. But Dr. Chow, you got your wild card pick.
I'll take another one that's at the same point spread, and I'm taking Tampa to beat Buffalo, even though they're 8.5-point underdogs in Buffalo. I just love Tampa's linebacking core. As long as those guys are playing, I haven't checked, but I like how they match up against what the Bills try to do on offense. So I think they have, they got Winfield Jr., and then they got the linebackers. So White and David.
I think the Bills win, but yeah, I think the Bucks cover. Yeah.
I could even see the Bucks just giving them problems and actually outright winning this game. But yeah, that's a lot of points, especially for a Buffalo team we've seen kind of up and down. So
right.
Well, to me, the Bills, we're talking about who've played. Their defense is the same kind of thing. Their defense, I'm looking at, is 5th in points against. But every time they kind of go against a pretty good offense, like the Bills lost that game to the Jaguars in London. New England didn't have a good offense. I don't know. I think that what the Bills have been doing is beating up on some bad teams on offense, and their defense beating up on bad teams who are bad offensively. So I think the Buccaneers will be able to score some points on them and at least keep the game one score. So.
The Bucs have a nice D, and if you can't just run, like a couple teams I think have done that against the Bucs, like the Falcons, but I think the Bucs can stop the pass a little bit better than people expect.
Well, also too, like let's face it, this is almost like a real key game because
pressure's on.
Yeah, if they win and they're 4-3, they have the same record as the Falcons, but if they lose, they're 3-4 and they're a game behind. And the Falcons have, got the tiebreaker right now because they beat them. So,
and the Bills are feeling a little pressure too. They lost, right? Oh, they lost to New England. Yeah.
4-3.
So they're both kind of in but it's a home game for the Bills. So
I don't know. That will definitely help. And the Bills are one of those teams. See, they're much better at home. I know they did technically their Jacksonville game was a home game. But that was in London. Yeah, the other 3 games at home, the Bills are 3-0. I'm looking at it.
Yeah, they're nuts at home. They don't play, and they're about to bounce back too. They're going to bounce back. There's no way. Josh Allen, Stephon Diggs were talking about in the post game conferences. They're like, dude, this ain't us. We're going to be bouncing back. He's like, this is ridiculous. We're just going to grow from this, and that's that. And I think they're going to come back with a punch, in my opinion. Just being honest, they're going to fuck up whoever they're playing. So who voted against the Bills? Was that you, Chow? Saying Buccaneers on Bills, bro?
I think the Bucs are going to do well.
No way. Do you think Baker Mayfield's going to go into Buffalo and beat Josh Allen, or just beat the spread at least?
Yeah, probably both. No I mean, like if I had to take a money line bet, okay, so here's the payout for that. It's if you think the Bucs are going to win, it's 3.4 on your money, so plus 340. So I could see that. I mean, if you're gonna take a long shot, well, let's see what your game might be the same because it was 8.5 points too. So if you think the Bears are gonna win, it's only 320, so it's a little closer, but the points are the same. So I guess Vegas people think the Bears have a better chance than Tampa, but I've seen Tampa a few times. They're not great, but they're solid.
They're solid. They're a very solid team.
Well, here's another factor though that helps the Bills. I forgot that's the Thursday night game, and that's a pretty long.
Shit.
That's a pretty long flight from. Like, I don't like those away teams on Thursday night when they have to travel 3, 4, 5 hours. Like,
I already lost a half a point. Now it's up to 9.
Yeah.
I love it. Watch out, Chow. You're going down, buddy.
Yeah, I forgot that was a Thursday night. See, I don't mind if it's a Thursday night game. It's like Jets, Giants, Raiders, Chargers, because, whatever, you're there in half an hour or something. But I hate those Thursday night games when the team's got to go. You got to go from Florida to, upstate New York. I just don't like that, for the away team.
People talk. Where's the volume at? Let me hear that shit.
Yeah, I'm one second, guys. I'm gonna get one more drink, so I'll be right back.
Yeah, you're straight. Yeah. Jordan Addison, I gotta hear what he's saying. He's got to be speaking some type of truth, bro.
Sorry, bro. I thought the audio was.
Bro, I do like the fact that he's wearing cheap ass plastic sunglasses.
He's a man of the people. All right, Addison. He's a good man. I
want
to look at.
Get it. I'll try one more time.
Yeah, try one more time. I gotta hear what this guy has to say if he can get it.
Are you guys going to be the best duo in the league?
For sure, no doubt. Let's do it. Let's go get paid.
What do fans expect from you?
A lot of plays and a lot of touchdowns. We finna score all night.
We finna.
Justin Jefferson, are you guys going to be the best?
We've been to score all night. Yeah, you guys are.
Let's do it. Let's go get paid.
He's right. You got to keep him, bro. You got to keep Jefferson, dude. I'm not kidding you, man. You keep Jefferson as your number one receiver who's big and tall and hefty, and you keep you like ATP was saying, your guy's a slot. That's an insane duo right there. You can't beat that shit.
Yeah, I mean, I'm down with that. And if they want to keep Cousins another year and run it,
I would. Yeah.
I don't know. I mean, I think they cleared out a lot of their old expensive players last year, but their defense is just thin. So
someone said Florida to Buffalo, that's like a 2-hour plane ride.
I don't know about that, but yeah, probably not too far.
It's probably not too bad. It's just East Coast vibes.
No way, man. Toronto.
He goes, no way, man.
Toronto to Nassau is like 3.5 hours. No way. Maybe Tampa's a little further north, but all you got to do is do a Google search.
Yeah, dipshit. So why don't you stop commenting garbage on our fucking group, on our chat? To our Teddy. And he told you to say it's not Falcons, it's Falcons, by the way. So he's
2 hours.
So first off, he corrects you on your speech and then corrects you on the time difference between actual flights. So he's kind of
2 hours and 47 minutes. So it's basically 3 hours.
Yeah, Dick. And it's not Falcons, it's Falcons, all right?
Especially, you're sitting on the tarmac, all that crap.
Yeah. Going through the, make sure you're not a terrorist, all that good shit throughout the airport, where the hell they're called.
I love our chat, except for Citizen M. Fuck that guy.
You're not tight with that guy?
I like him. He's a nice guy. He's a nice gentleman. He's very sweet to me. It's very sweet.
Dude, all he does is rip you the whole time. I look at the chat, but I look at
I always look at the chat. I'm always reading the chat. I love it every single time. They're like, Mer's reading. I'm like, yes, I am.
Sometimes when I
It's
rewatch
hilarious.
the show, I do quickly look, and it's like, I always like, Citizens M's like, Mir, how can you stand yourself and your snaggle tooth?
I know. I love it. I'm like, that's right, bitch. It's that British vibes. It's that British vibes.
Yeah, I want to give a shout out to a special dime piece. I was on stream with earlier today. I was on Jake Hudson's stream before I got banned, and Kate Meany was on there, and I was hollering at her to try to get on our show. So, what up, Queen? If you're watching, you got to get on Mir Musk and get musky with us. So,
how many people were watching Jake's stream?
I don't know, honestly.
About as much
there was
as
like
ours.
10 people on. There was 10 people on.
That's pretty good. Or 10 people on it. Okay.
Yeah. So, we were all kind of watching it. I think like some people had their cameras off, but yeah.
But let me
it was dope.
let me make my picture real quick, all right, you goobers, before I fucking freak
I got to
out.
call out to the all the shawties out there. Now that we're getting all these groupies and stuff, bro.
I know I love groupies. I mean, I
Well,
mean,
you're
it's-
music, man.
yeah, I've fucked a few groupies back in the day, back in Chicago. A good Homeland
Hell
Security.
yeah, dude. The best. Chicago's got the best
Best,
freaking heads,
best ethnic pussy I've ever had. I'll tell you what right now. And it wasn't just because of the curry. All right.
bro.
But let's get back
Meal
into
came with
Dude,
it.
I dated an Indian girl
it.
like 20 years ago. I dated an Indian girl. She was like gorgeous. She lived out in Vancouver.
Yeah.
So
Hell yeah, down.
Yeah. So.
she wanted to get married, and I wanted to move to the Bahamas, so it didn't work out.
Did you ever like meet her brother like right then and there, like living with her though? She ever living with her brother at the time?
She was still living with her parents.
Oh shit, that's even worse. Yeah.
She had 2 sisters, so.
Were they
And
hot?
she had yeah, they were all really good looking girls, but like her mom was like, but it wasn't like strict, like old school Indian. They were actually, she was real westernized and they all listened to rock music, but the mom was just like totally overbearing. Like it would like her mom would be controlling your whole life. So it's like, forget that.
Wow.
Yeah. So
Throw her in some orange chicken or something. I don't know. Get rid of her ass. But I'm gonna make my 2 picks real quick. So I'm gonna go really controversial. No, I'm gonna go very somewhat normal with the first. I'm gonna go Steelers at home against the Jaguars. They're gonna keep riding, dude. Kenny Pickett's cooking with Pickens. Mike Tomlin's on the top of this game. Hasn't had a losing season in God knows how long now. Hello. We are gonna fucking watch those guys fucking cook more and more each week and just learn more. And Pickett is here to stay. I know you hate to see it, David, but Pickett is here to stay. He's a great QB. So no Pickett signs from you.
Teams that are both 4-2. No, we're not talking about. What about Browns Seahawks? It's actually a good game.
Yeah, it is a great game. Is Deshaun Watson playing? Is he playing that, or is he still out?
I don't know that because I thought he was going to play last week, and that PJ Walker kid played. And
I heard people calling Watson a pussy and shit for not playing.
Well, Watson's got a 3-1, but I turned the game on and Walker was. Let me go look at the box score of that game. That was a wild game too, by the way. Colts.
It was very close. Gardner Minshew got robbed. They got robbed at the end. The rest gave the Browns that goddamn game. I watched that shit. It was garbage. It was disgusting.
Oh yeah, Watson was 1 for 5 in interception, and did he get hurt again? Because when I turned the game on, Walker was playing. Dude, one thing you got to give to the Browns, that offensive line, Bill Callahan. He was the guy, who was the Raiders coach the year they lost to the Bucks. The best offensive line coach, and no one's even close. Second.
No, dude, the Vikings had the best guy, and then someone.
No, Bill Callahan's the best offensive line coach. Like he had those. Remember when the Jets had those awesome offensive lines?
Yeah, Chow, watch it.
He fixed the NFL. He fixed the Super Bowl, bro.
But anyhow, you got to give it, to the Browns. As soon as, even with the Chubb out, Ford and Kareem Hunt come right in, and they're ripping it up, man.
And here we go. This is what we mentioned about earlier.
Oh yeah, I clicked it when you clicked it. Great minds.
Damn, Minshew played good last week. I'm looking at this. Although, did you see what's his name, the defensive tackle, Myles Garrett? He was insane. I know you could say, they let up 38 points, but he in that first half he was insane. Like he almost won them the game in the first half. He caused a fumble for a touchdown. He was sacking everyone. He was hitting everyone in the backfield. He was insane, Myles Garrett.
Yeah, he's dope. Dude, I got an idea for a concept, Mir. Now that we're getting all these like groupies and all these hoes and stuff, why don't we set up a reality show where like ATP plays The Bachelor and we get like we take applications and we get all these chicks to head down to the Bahamas for like a Pro Bowl, like around the Pro Bowl or Super Bowl or something.
I got
they can compete online. The winner gets it.
We get all these women on and whatnot. We have them periodically be on the show, and David talks with them, and then we'll have him like somewhat like whatever game show it is. I don't know yet. We have to talk about it. But when we do Super Bowl Sunday, that girl has to come down to the Bahamas and be your date for the Super Bowl when we all come down and watch the game.
That's like the end prize.
That's the end prize for her to be there in person with all of us at the end prize.
The thing about that whole Super Bowl thing, it depends on nothing. I'm not pussing out. It's
Oh
no. My stepbrother I've talked about, the good soccer player. He's going to Portugal in February, March, April for a camp in Europe. And my dad may be down here. And my dad's he's 70 years old. He's not a partier guy. So probably wouldn't do the Super Bowl party if my dad is here. Right. But I'm going to kind of ask him like, hey, I don't know when my brother's going down. Maybe you can come a few days after the Super Bowl and then we can still do something. But like, yeah. So,
Could
yeah, I
even
don't
get
know.
it going
The
for New
Bachelor
Year's.
idea, you know, I guess it's okay. You know, idea. I don't know. You know,
We didn't discuss it. I literally just came up with it now.
Yeah, we haven't talked.
If you
anything
don't
we're
like the idea, it's
spitballing.
not a big
Well, the
deal.
problem is,
But
I actually, I see that Colombian girl every couple months. It's not that serious, but you know what Latin women are like. All of a sudden, I'm bringing girls down on like some Bachelor.
It's
idea.
just because of a show. The shows are fake. Everything's fake. Whatever you see on TV,
Everything-
you
oh,
just
yeah,
tell
yeah.
her it's like Bachelor or whatever, the Bachelorette. It's all
yeah,
fake.
maybe
But
we
we've
bring
already
on-
had Delish on, so but dude,
She's
this-
kind of like a co-host, though. We need to find like random like IG chicks and bring like 3.
Oh,
on
I got a
every
few. I'll bring on a
episode.
few. I'll bring on a few.
Yeah, and then he can pick one an episode, and then they get it to the playoffs. and then-
One episode.
yeah, and then at
Have
the end,
18 chicks
Playoff.
ready to run.
I actually that'd be fun to do because there's
It
no
would be
chicks
fun.
and there's no girls in this whole thing, so it'd be fun to do.
No, MLC had a chick on. She was hot as fuck, bro. You see that busty bitch?
The one today,
She was
She's-
sexy as fuck.
she's
She was
guilty.
alright.
She was so creamy and so wet. I'm just letting you know right now. Cream like that is very hard to come by.
Her
right?
great
yeah,
day.
Gravy,
I
basically.
think
at that
she's in her
point.
50s though. She's not like a young.
Exactly, gravy. You can mix that shit with some biscuit.
You want to, hey, Mir, you want to date a gilf? Is that your thing?
I mean, pussy's pussy, right? Boys all pink in the inside. That's what I heard, man.
Yeah.
But let's
Well-
I'm making. Can I do my wall card for my? Guys, please do my wall
You've done
card.
like a bunch of them, but yeah. keep
No, I
going.
haven't. You guys have been talking about fucking Saints
what-
and Jaguars and shit. I just all I was saying was Steelers being in the fucking where the fuck am I? I'm going through this fucking schedule way too goddamn fast. Oh yeah. All I'm saying is I got Steelers being Jaguars next game. And then my last one I'm gonna go with is shit. I was gonna pick and I'm gonna stick with it. Where is it?
You
Oh
gonna
yeah,
take
here it
your
is.
boy
Rams over
Dobbs
Cow. No,
the
Rams
Ravens?
over. Rams over Cowboys. Rams going to fucking Jerry Jones world and fucking. I mean, fucking up the Cowboys. Guaranteed, dude. Cowboys are reeling. They don't know who they are. They've been called out multiple times on Undisputed with Skip Bayless telling them they're trash. Skip Bayless knows what he's talking about. He's an OG. Respect the king. And
Cowboy
Micah
homer.
Parsons. Micah Parsons is a fucking fool and he's a loser. Trying to take it personally against Kittle like that. And I believe anything that fucking Skip Bayless says. So I'm 100% saying down up front.
Remember when Skip Bayless was angry they canceled the Bills?
Yes,
game last
I
year?
was angry too. What's going to happen
Yeah.
now? Who cares who died? People die all the time. Who gives a fuck? It wasn't about to score.
Well,
I'm
there was a
serious.
guy. There was a
Damn
guy.
right.
The only guy who died on the field in modern NFL history was there was a Lions Bears game like 71. A Lions wide receiver died, and they finished that game. So there you go.
Exactly.
Yeah.
But yeah,
In fact, before all these pussies are making $5 million a year.
Before
No.
they had a clone of everyone already in the pack.
exactly. Just roll them out the back on a fucking.
What do you think of that Brown Seahawks game? It's Seahawks minus 3.5. It's in Seattle.
Dude, I'm going fucking Browns, bro. They're cooking.
Yeah, I'm going with the
I'm going Browns.
Browns. PJ Walker.
I don't know. I always, I never think the Seahawks are good, and
I
then
don't.
but they always win. Like when I'm watching them, I'm like, I don't think they're gonna win this one, and then they're like, oh wow, they win. And then of course, once you finally buy in and believe in them towards the end of the year, then they drop.
They
a
just
few
fizzle
games.
out.
Yeah, they just they blow it
Dude.
before they even can get it.
You guys know the Chiefs are only 7-point favorites over the Broncos. I know it's in Denver, but what the hell? I'm taking that Chiefs all day long with that.
No. Oh, what? Whoa.
7
Decent
points.
Broncos. Dude, Broncos are good, though. They've been holding teams very quiet. And even last year, the Broncos almost beat the Chiefs. You remember that game with Russell Wilson almost beating the
I don't
Chiefs?
think
That was
the
huge.
Broncos offense can score against the Chiefs defenses now. It's
That's
not
true.
so
That's
much.
true.
Yeah, that's my issue. Like, are they going to trade Judy?
No.
I
It
don't
doesn't
know.
seem like anyone's. It sounds like there's a lot of talk and then nothing's going to happen.
One of the guys that Vikings fans really want is Patrick Surtain II from the Broncos. Yeah, he's got 2 years on his, or he's got another year on his deal.
I think that's the
after
one
next
guy
year.
they said, though, he's untouchable. Like, he's the one guy they're keeping because he's one of the best corners in the league. I think they're not going to trade him.
So I got a bigger question for you guys. Wait. Breaking rumors that some of our own Congress warned Hamas about special forces. Okay, whatever, tweaker. But anyway, so I got a even bigger question for you guys. I was looking at the NFL. I was looking at the NBA. You saw, like, this is very interesting to me. NBA had their opening night yesterday, correct? You guys heard about that?
Not even really. But yeah.
Not
Exactly.
Really.
You didn't even hear about it, right?
Yeah. Well, because also it was
Views-
Game 7 in that one MLB game.
Yeah.
So, like, it's not a good.
This is
And
weird.
Joey
This-
C.
We see. That's what I hear about. No, I want you guys to honest opinion because you guys are older. You're more into like the more money aspect of our world and shit like that. So you guys are very brilliant minds. You know all about statistics
I don't know about that,
and
but whatever.
yeah. Yeah, exactly. Whatever. But you see the NBA right now. They're at a pivotal point. They've been down viewership all throughout the past. I would say before, right at the pandemic level. Been going down views. They have opening day at 7:30 and 9 o'clock at night on Central Time, right? So what East Coast you're fucked is the game's going to at least 1 a.m. And it's during the World Series. Why are they doing that if they want to try and gain more viewership and continue their brand? Do you think they're just falling apart at this point? Like, is it just like a horrible business? What's going on? Why are they just choosing these horrible hours? And also, here's another thing: I was looking at tickets for like these NBA games compared to NFL games. Insane amount of money if you want a decent seat at an NBA game compared to NFL game. It's NFL games you can get a decent seat for a decent price of money. So you have your more average Joe going to NFL games compared to NBA. Is there a reason for that? Are they trying to just like not have like your average like persona coming to these games anymore? Like, what's your take on that to some aspect?
I don't know, man. It must have to do with
It's weird shit.
The international how they show them and people play, gamble on it over in Asia. I don't know. Honestly, I have no idea how it works or how it's still gotten bigger. It doesn't.
When I was in Spain, I was just at a little bar having like a beer after I took a walk on the beach in Barcelona, and there were a bunch of Brits next to me. And you would think a Brits would be talking about, Premier League or
football.
Yeah. No, they were all talking NBA. So
they're more international, I guess, at this point.
Yeah, I guess that's.
I mean, they're doing through China. I think Saudi Arabia is probably going to buy them out probably at some point in time. Well, not buy them out, but the players at some point in time coming up. They already did that with They were doing that with soccer. You saw that, right? Saudi Arabia already bought PGA and all that other shit going on.
That Saudi Arabia is totally doing that. I was even watching. I've been watching this guy who was like the strongest man in the world. He's from England. I've been watching his YouTube videos.
Yeah.
He's friends with what Tyson Fury's son. The guy who fought Jake Paul. Yeah, they did that. They did that. Fury's son and Jake Paul fought in Saudi Arabia. So that's totally because they have all that oil money. And I think, actually, to be honest, I think that's a way Saudi Arabia is trying to diversify their economy. Believe it or not, be a big sports center. Where
really because
they got Ronaldo playing there and all that stuff. Yeah, I think that's totally.
Well, Messi. What was this? He denied their request to play. He went to Miami. I know that because for other reasons. I mean, David Beckham's over there too, and some other shit was going on.
Yeah,
but
I got a question on that.
Yeah.
Who of all the streamers in the Hackverse, Dabbleverse, Mudverse realm, Who is most likely to take a big bag of money to go start streaming over in Saudi?
Well, hang on. Don't say anything right off the bat. Let's think about this logically.
Because I got someone who I think might be a front runner.
You have to move there.
You have to move there and you have to stream from there. But
Well, not Chad. You can't.
Not
drink
Kevin
it.
Brennan. And Kevin Brennan ain't doing it because he's got family. He ain't doing that. I would say honestly, not Bob, not Patrick. He's gonna stay in Las Vegas. There's no fucking ways moving that, bro. Honestly, damn, dude. I don't know. Maybe
I
Joe
know.
C. Joe C.
no,
I
he's
know.
American.
He's a good Italian man.
You know who it would be?
Who?
Fucking the genius, bro. Phil Elmore.
Phil Elmore.
Yeah.
Yeah, man, because they haven't outlawed food there. They only outlawed booze.
So hang on. I've had some type of inclination that Phil Elmore and you. So hang on. I don't want to overstep bounds here, David. Okay, I don't want to overstep, but I've seen things about Phil Elmore. He seems like a very nice, older, like grandpa vibes. You know, he reminds me of my grandfather telling me I shouldn't eat too much hard candy type of thing. And then we were talking privately behind closed doors. And you're like, oh, Phil Elmore, he's all right. He's whatever. He's just a little fucker with a microphone talking shit. What's your honest take on Phil Elmore?
No, I never said that. I said
not you, not you, David. What's your take on Phil Elmore personally? Like, what's your take on him?
I don't really know. I only seen little clips of him talking. I know he's got a whole bunch of books that are on Amazon and stuff.
That don't mean shit. That don't mean shit.
It means something, yeah.
Yes.
I know. Hey, he's
Genius.
He's written a lot of books. I'm looking at it right now, man. It's a lot of books.
Let me see this shit. Hang on, dude. Phil, it don't matter more than you, dude. You can write anything and put it on fucking Amazon. You need
How to
goddamn
make
more
your
and do that
pocket
shit.
flashlight a take anywhere defense weapon. I'm
He
just.
knows how to fight.
This is. Yeah, well, he knows how to fight. You just sit on you and you're dead.
What? What'd you say?
I said if he just sits on you, you're dead. Look at
Hang on,
No,
he wrote
dude,
something.
he's built, bro.
No, he wrote
What are you
something
talking
weird.
about? You're talking shit, bro.
He wrote something called Demon Lore, Demons, Sorcerers, Assassins, Betrayal. Everything's sprawling.
Well, your doctors
human
won't
and
tell you about your
inhuman.
CPAP machine. What is a CPAP machine?
That's for if you have sleep apnea, bro. It's the thing that you
Wait,
put on your face when you sleep.
What's
It's for
American
fat
Undead?
guys?
America is for fat guys. American Undead, cursed by Vlad the Impaler to survive unspeakable agony. He is doomed to awaken and suffer again. Only this time it's in today America. Oh my god, this guy. Hang on.
Honk honk. Cloud.
I've been asking him to release some audiobooks because it's just like too much work to read all this shit. But I'll listen to it.
Hey, Mir, look at the Hong Kong fuck. Clown
Yeah,
World
I got
Banana
you.
Republic coping strategies.
Are you looking on Amazon?
Yeah.
I'm not filling more books
Yeah,
right now. You said
I'll
Hong
put
Kong.
it up.
That Hong Kong.
Yeah,
book-
just put it up. Just pull it up on the screen.
That Hong Kong books looks
Hong
hilarious.
Kong, Clown World, Banana Republic coping strategies. Yeah, no, this one actually looks good. I was looking at it earlier. It's got
I love
Yeah.
the title. The title's amazing. I do have to say. Actually, yell
Bestseller.
at my
yeah.
publisher.
There's a bunch of words here about it if you want to read them, but it's a lot. So that's why we just need audiobooks.
We need this guy on here right now. We need to talk to him.
Anyone in the chat? We got 5 or 6 people here. Tell Phil Elmore to come on right now.
I'm gonna send him right now. Where's Joey? I'm gonna call Joey and get him on here.
He
right
looks.
now. Fuck
Hey man,
this.
he looks like these are old pictures of him in some of his books. He used to look like he was actually in pretty good shape at one time.
Oh, he's a beast,
You know?
bro. He knows how to do the katana, the nunchucks.
All right.
Yeah, he's the real deal, bro. You don't want to mess with him.
How old is he?
I think he's like 40.
No way.
He's
Because
not
he's-
40. No way.
No. He's like 60 now. Like he looks old in those interviews.
All right, let me get Phil Elmore to come on. Yeah, I hit him up earlier, just telling him he's the G.
Joey's playing cute right now. He's not answering.
No, Joey's not doing. He doesn't like where things are going. He might take a little break.
Why? Wasn't he shitting on American Cupcake and all that shit?
No, Cupcake betrayed him, but that's not a big deal. Like he took care of it. So,
So
Yeah.
why does he like where things are going?
I Just too many of his allies turned to ops. You know,
What was
basically Jake
Who
did.
turned up?
American
Jake's
Cupcake.
garbage.
Jake's no one's ally, man.
Yeah, so he's just, but he's doing his thing. He's just retooling, you know. He's laying low tonight. But I'm trying to get Elmore on because. All right, let's rate his books.
Yeah, let's do it.
I might read a few of these. Some of them look actually kind of interesting.
Let's do by most popular street people strategies, personal security tactics if you're a homeless panhandler. So it's like if you're gonna be homeless, these are some good things to know. He's got a story to tell. Street people strategies. A comprehensive guide to identifying these threats. If not only outlines a number of homeless panhandling ploys and street mugger conchas, but also provides you with a simple mental and physical plan for removing yourself from danger. Phil Elmore knows.
Thanks, Brian. You're a real one. Thank you, bro.
What he's talking about when it comes to these streets. Oh, these threats. For each one is drawn from a direct experience, most of which happened in downtown Syracuse, New York, a city notorious for its aggressive panhandling problem in the late 90s and early aughties. Oh, interesting.
Wait, read the comments. Read the comments.
He's got one called Ninja Girl Adventures. Actually looks like it sold a lot of copies too.
Hey,
And
Phil
this is
says he
about
can come on,
chicks?
right? Phil says he can come on.
All right, let's
Yes.
get him on because he's dope, bro. Look
He
at this
says,
guy.
can do, but I need a few minutes. I'm not at home at the moment. Said, what should I say right now? I don't know. You guys tell me. You guys are older than me. I don't know what I'm doing right now. I'm out of my mind.
Just say yes, please come on as soon as possible. Appreciate it or something.
Please come.
I'm interested in this Ninja Girl Adventures book.
I'll say, please come
All right,
on.
let's
David hates your guts. He
No,
really
no,
wants
no,
to
no.
beat you.
No, we're
Not
huge fans.
fair, man. I'm just joking around.
No, you're not. You fucking bitch. You hate him because he's fat.
Who's this Giga
It's
Chad?
because he's probably a fucking.
He's not fat, bro. He's built.
Yeah, he's probably a Raiders fan. So he's probably he's probably eats his. Yeah.
This shit looks fucking.
Look, I have a bad experience
Dave.
with podcasters who are fat. So
Duke Manfist. He's the
Hang on,
world's
what-
manliest action hero.
Wait,
he loves
Duke Man-
bacon, punching bad guys, hot girls, and gas guzzling trucks and bacon.
bullets, babes, and bacon. All right.
Hey, we are looking through Duke Manfist right now.
Yeah, this shit's fucking dank.
I love it. Actually, I do.
I have some questions.
Who are you talking to, us or him?
I mean, relax there and run the screen, all right? You guys are having your own thing right now. I'm trying to.
I DM'd him the link already.
I did.
Yeah, so did I. So he'll come
Duke
on.
Manfist is like
I
a
did.
series.
I'm connecting with Phil right now.
thing.
Phil and I are like best friends at this point. I'm just saying.
Dude.
He
He's got a
could be a
thing.
good mentor. I gotta ask him if the rumor's true about him being Melton's dad, but
Dude, Duke Manfist. He's got like 4 books on Duke Manfist.
I gotta rip another piss. I gotta pee so bad.
'Twas the night before Duke Manfist saved Christmas.
It's a night
is there one?
Manfist.
No, that shit's dope. That's some alpha male shit.
Twist the knife.
This is politics, which is probably good, but you know, you gotta be in the mood for that.
That's right. You gotta be at least somewhat
Tactical
high.
pen. People who carry tactical pens can't.
Actually, you know what?
Okay.
What's
Tell
that?
Phil he's growing on me like herpes. I like this guy, man.
He's a Renaissance man.
That's right.
He knows about a lot of stuff.
I'm like, I see the titles of these books. I'm liking this guy.
America's Special Forces injured in the Gaza carrying operation for hostage, but suffered heavy losses and retreated.
Would have never
What's Phil
happened
Elmore?
with Phil being
Yeah.
in charge.
What does Phil have to say about that?
Dude, writing
We'll
books
find
is
out.
tough. He was ripping these out too, like 2011, 2012, 2013. Like he's doing 2 or 3 of these like a year. You know.
New York City, Moriah Mackenzie needs a break. Left in charge of her late father's company and still trying to master mystical ninjutsu, the 15-year-old freshman just wanted to be normal in high school.
Where's this guy live?
But when Syracuse, I think. But when she and her sisters come face to face with a sinister band of martial artists, the tenacious teen fears the return of an old enemy. I can't read all that. It's too much. But this shit. Oh, the reviews. Someone in the chat wants us to read reviews. All right, this is a good one. A lot of people found this helpful. Family bonds, friendship, standing up for what's right. This is the second book in the series, although I didn't read the first one. I didn't feel like I was missing a lot of information. The basics of the first book were given to me, so there was context of what was going on here. Moriah, Mindy, Marcy are a trio of teenage sisters who recently found that they can come from a line of ninja and now training to be ninjas themselves. Their mother is deceased and their father is missing, presumed dead. And his will, he left control of his $1 million business to 15-year-old Moriah. So she has become the focus of paparazzi. And it's hard to be a ninja while under such scrutiny.
I would think so.
Oh, no. I didn't even realize there was a read more. Oh, man. That's way too much. To read.
Yeah, that's insane.
All right, let's find some more.
That's longer than the damn book.
Wait. I got a question for you two because I kind of want to ask Phil this because you two are older than me, so you have more life experience, correct?
Kind
I
of.
guess. Yeah. I think that'd be more time, I guess.
What is the most...
You guys are trying to hook me up with Instagram whores. So yeah, I got full of like experience.
What is the most dangerous, let's say, not event, but like happenstance you two have been in where you felt your lives were in danger against somebody else and you needed some type of like martial arts or just some type of, thing you could do to subdue somebody so they don't hurt you?
I don't really have any.
You never had one?
The only time I had anything that had nothing to do with another person, when I was in my early 20s, I was in Florida on vacation, and it was early 20s, and I was like, they had the red flag up, and
red flag. What do you mean?
No, like they put that on the beach because like the riptide or whatever.
Oh, gotcha.
Yeah, and I got sucked way out, and I literally thought I was gonna die, and then somehow I was able to swim back in. And I remember 2 lifeguards like picked me up. I was like blue in the face, like I was like dehydrated and stuff, and probably a little bit of hypothermia. So that.
How old were you?
I was like, that was 2001, so I was 24.
Holy shit, dude! So you were just like hanging out in the wave and whatnot, and then you just got pulled out.
Yeah, I got pulled out. Yeah, it was like a huge.
What was going through your mind at that point? You get like, okay,
I literally every time the wave crashed on me, I would like jump up and say like, "Help, help!" And then I guess what happened was at some point the waves just crashed on me enough that they actually pushed me back in.
So
like, I actually heard someone yell from the beach.
Yeah.
Hey, start walking. You're not in deep water anymore. So. And and then someone came and kind of like helped, put me in, and then lifeguards were there and they just checked me out and said, "You're okay." They were like, "Just take a few Advil because you're like, you've got like, a bit of hypothermia, and you're gonna like, feel like shit for like,
I mean, probably I think the sketchiest thing that ever happened to me was I was in a line to watch a rap show in LA down in the fucking like cut, in the trenches. And there was a report of stabbings happening in the line I was waiting in.
That's scary.
And then, like, we were waiting this cut area of like fucking, what's the place called? I forgot where the homeless people stay at. Because the show was like under a bridge, like tucked away. They had it like a carrier, like I forgot the metal fucking carriers and shit. I forgot the name of it. It's all tucked away. We're all waiting in line, and then like there was like reports of like people getting stabbed in line and shit like that. I was like, that's kind of sketchy. And then these dudes in all ski masks pull up, like in line, like maybe 5 people in front of us just staring at people and shit. I'm just like, I really want to see these artists, but I'm not trying to get killed tonight, so I'm probably just gonna leave. And so I left, and then like riot teams came, helicopters came, told the crowd to disperse during like COVID during 2021. down to LA, so they told like crowds to disperse. It was during the God, I forgot the white kid's name. He's like Ox something, Red Ox, Bad Ox. I forgot his name, but it was a shit show, and I mean, I kind of felt scared for my life, but at the same time, I was just like, I like you, Chow. I never really felt scared for my life. I thought I was gonna get killed, but I was like, I'm gonna avoid this situation so I don't go into that area, possibly fearing for my life.
Actually, now that we're thinking about it, I got two more. So,
Okay.
no, the first one is crazy. The second one is kind of stupid. It was scary at the time, but it was stupid in retrospect, right? So in 2009, I did a conference at Atlantis. This is when I still lived in Nassau in the Bahamas, like an investment conference.
Yeah.
And we did an event at this little Italian restaurant. I was friends with the owner, and it's on the other side of the island. So everyone was staying at the hotel, and I had this Mustang at the time. So we threw like 7 people in the back of the Mustang. Like the car was like an inch off the ground, right? And I don't know if you guys know anything about Atlantis, but there's this like overhand kind of this overpass, right? Almost like a bridge thing. You have to drive under to go to the front of the resort. So I'm driving like, 15 miles per hour because I got these 6 people in the back of the car, and Mustangs are super low to begin with. And this car, it was like a fancy car. It was like a Maserati or something. Goes whipping past us like 100 miles per hour, right? This guy had just he'd been doing blow all night at the hotel, right?
I'm gonna go smoke actually before Phil gets there.
You should get here to go smoke. Go smoke.
Then all of a sudden, like 10 seconds after the car passed us, or 20 seconds, I hear boom, boom, boom. The fucking car is bouncing off the walls. I was like, if that would have been like, we would have been here 30 seconds later, I'd be dead. Like he would have smashed into us, right?
What's wrong? Here's my thing though. When you're dead, what's the issue with that though? I mean, here's my thing. How do you know you're alive right now? How do you know if you're alive right now?
Okay. And then the second you're gonna laugh.
He goes, hang on, okay.
I gotta go to the story. So the next story is so stupid. So there was this guy here on the island that did some work for me, and he married this girl from Canada, and he also had like, they call them sweethearts here. So he had a bunch of girls on the side. Like she was like an older woman, who's almost like a sugar mommy.
Right.
So, but he's also got to like take care of these women. So on Mother's Day one day, this guy comes into my house with a gun, right? And he's like, and then I'm looking at the guy's name's Dino, and I'm like, this is fucking Dino, but I was scared because this guy had a gun, right? And I just like, he went and stole something out of my room. That's how I really knew it was. I had a gold coin. And like he knew exactly where it was. So when he had done work with me, whenever I leave the house to get supplies or food for the guys working, he was obviously going through my house just looking for shit, right? So he stole a couple things and then left. And if you ever seen the movie White Man Can't Jump?
No,
right?
I've never seen that.
Well, it's a hilarious movie. So there's a scene in the movie where
is it funny though? Because it's fucking what's his face? The one, a white actor. What's his name? Not Charles
Harrison. No, White Man Can't Jump.
Woody Harrelson. He's not funny.
It's not him so much. Wesley Snipes kind of makes that movie.
Wesley Snipes. I mean, what?
Well, it's a different role than anything he plays other than that. But anyhow,
so he's like,
a scene in White Man Can't Jump where the guy's trying to get money to play against Harrelson, and he doesn't have it, so he puts a mask on and he goes like into like a convenience store, and the guy in the convenience store is like, Tyrone, what the hell are you doing, right? Like, because he knows the guy, right? And that's how I felt. Anyhow, this guy came to my house with a gun, and I was scared at the time. Oh, there you go, man.
KG
coming for you with the gun.
Yeah. So anyhow, but the one where I was driving, that was legit scary. Because that was like, if I had just gotten into that tunnel, like 30 seconds later, we'd be dead. Like that guy was bouncing off the walls in his car.
I got a question for you, real quick.
We need to get Clowder on, bro.
Crowder?
No, Clowder. Remember, that's the guy who had beef with Rob Saul.
I sent him a link. He's pussing out that, bro. I sent him the link via email. He knows it. I sent to him. Brian, I sent you the link, buddy. If you want to hop on. I'd love to talk to you, man. He seemed like a cool dude.
Yeah, he is.
It'd be great to meet you and hear why you don't like Rob Saul, because Rob Saul to me seemed like a good American. He's helping the minorities come into this country the legal way, not the legal way, which I respect 100%. And you just shoot on him nonstop. And I understand you have some type of disrespect, but when it comes to Americans, we should all respect each other. But anyway, let's continue on.
So how
So
do
you
you know if
gotta-
you're alive or dead? Who knows?
You got to understand though, like even when you're dead, you're still alive because you're still providing life force towards something that's growing, right?
Like your dead
Yes.
body. Oh, there's Phil right there.
Phil, how are you doing, sir? It's an honor to meet you finally at last.
Hey guys.
What's up, Phil, bro? Dude, big fan, huge fan of what you've been doing.
Thank you.
I didn't know you had written that many books. We were
You're a
just
brilliant
looking at-
mind.
I am an incredibly prolific author who has contributed more than my fair share of chaff to the internet. I used to work for a series of internet marketers, and I wrote hundreds of thousands of words of internet copy for websites that are not helping anyone. So the books probably balance that out a little, but sometimes I think about all the millions of words of crap I contributed to the internet because I used to work for this guy. What's that?
Well, I write investment newsletters, and I used to do stuff through Newsmax. I still do stuff, but I just know, I know the guys you're talking about, the kind of copyright, the writers they're doing. All that stuff. Yeah,
I used to work for this guy. He was based in Michigan, and he had this very distinct accent. And he would be like, "Hey, I need you to get me 10,000 words on costumes." And I'm like, well, and many of the websites that I wrote for him were kind of sleazy. So I'm like, oh God, what now? So what do you mean? You know, Batman, Superman. I'm like, okay, if it's not sleazy, I don't know how to write it, but I'll try. So I once I did a project for him that was so big, I actually hurt my it was like not a carpal tunnel injury,
Damn.
but it was similar. So I went to the hospital because my arms were going numb, and I was like, I might be having a heart attack. And they're like, no, by any chance, did you spend the last 3 days writing 400,000 words? I'm like, yeah.
Were you a boxer, bro? Your hands are fucking canned hams, bro.
No, I'm just fat. I'm a large man. I wear size 14 shoes.
No, dude, you're not fat. You're built, bro.
You're huge.
No,
How tall are you?
I
How
am
tall are
very
you?
overweight.
How tall are you?
I'm just under 6 foot. I was 5'11". I think I'm probably
Okay.
shrinking a little bit as I get older. I'm
So you're
probably more like
so you're
5'10".
you're like a running back. You're a built running back then at this point. You're kind of like Christian McCaffrey. You're fucking stout and you're fucking huge, dude. You'll
Any
fuck up somebody.
title with running in the name is probably inaccurate. I would be a moseying back if I was one.
No, you look like a biker or like an offensive lineman. Like he's got tons of muscle under all the weight.
Well, more to the point, I look just like my father. The male Elmores all breed very true, so we all just come out as carbon copies of each other.
Did you guys
like
ever play
the-
sports?
No, I never played sports, but I did martial arts in college, and it was the first time I ever did anything that was remotely athletic. And
Yeah.
when I managed to get through it and not die, I was like, oh, holy crap, maybe I could do something athletic after all. So
So
Then
when
he
did you
became a ninja.
What made you push martial arts? Honestly,
well, I was always interested in self-defense. You know, I even when I was in like grade school, I started looking at books on trying to learn from books. It was that scene in The Karate Kid where Miyagi comes in and Daniel-san's trying to learn karate from a book, and you can tell Miyagi's like, well, that's a load of crap. Like that resonated with me so hard because I remember trying to teach myself karate and other stuff from books in the library.
right.
So I was always interested in it.
That kind of just pushed you towards just learning it actually physically, and then you kind of just grew up for it and whatnot, and then you kind of push it towards your books, right? You were making.
Well, some of them, like, because at one time I thought I was going to get famous writing self-defense books. So I wrote a couple of books for Paladin Press when they still existed.
Yeah.
I wrote a book on flashlights. I wrote a book on swords. And then because life is not without a sense of irony, the reason I can call myself best-selling author Phil Elmore is because I wrote a book on CPAP machines that is legitimately my best-selling book of all time.
Right,
And,
right.
and, it's got like 500 organic reviews, and it still sells really well because no, Mr. Elmore, you're not going to get famous for writing books on swords and flashlights. You're going to get famous for almost dying in your sleep and then telling the world about it. So it keeps you humble.
Yeah, we were just looking at that. Some of your books, they're super dank, dude. You're what martial art philosophy is in your mind? Because you seem like a real Renaissance man, bro.
Well, it's more like I acquire too many hobbies.
That's
Like,
how I am.
I have a side business making knife sheaths out of Kydex for small knives. That keeps me pretty busy on the side.
That's awesome, dude. Yeah, I mean, like, yeah. So you like jump from things and like try to master as best as possible, then jump to a new thing.
Well, it's more like I really enjoy inflicting my opinions on other people. So I'm always looking for new ways to do that.
Right, of course.
I mean, it's really the basis for my show.
Looking at new ways to Bill, I'm not gonna lie to you right now. Okay, I'm gonna be honest with you here. I saw your face a few times throughout the
that
Dabble
feedback
board.
coming
Yeah,
from?
what is that feedback coming from?
I
Because
think
that
that's
ain't
Phil.
me. So
I'm
Phil's
just
that
gonna-
you got like a, or is it? Who's that?
Is it me? No, I don't think it's me, man.
Hey, I'm gonna mute you real
I've
quick.
got headphones in.
Hello. Can you talk real quick, Phil?
Testing 1, 2, 3.
Okay. Hey, ATP,
Is it
it's you
me?
real quick.
Yeah, it's you,
It's you.
ATP.
Okay, let me stop and I'll come right back on.
Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's gone.
Knucklehead.
Jesus
He
Christ.
embarrassed us in front of a genius. Bro.
I know. This is like I said to you, Phil.
I really think that's overselling the case.
No, it's not overselling, sir. You're honestly a brilliant mind, and I kind of want. This is one thing I wanted to talk to you about because I'm sorry I'm a little bit sauced here. We had a show earlier today, but I don't want to embarrass myself in front of you because I do respect you as a human being and what you've been doing throughout just your career, what we've been reading, and how you perceive yourself on these shows. Because you're honestly very professional. You're very cognizant of how you should portray yourself in front of media, which I respect a lot because a lot of people don't understand that. They kind of lose themselves in being in the spotlight, but you don't. You're very stoic. And that's what I respect about you.
I've had a lot of experience doing
Right.
media over the years. So, I've been on the actual old timey radio before.
Right.
The only experience I had that was bad was when I went on Man Cow Mueller's show. And then the whole time they were playing sound effects in the background and I couldn't tell when they were talking to me and when they weren't. And so that appearance was a disaster, but every other appearance I ever did was fun.
What happened in that appearance for you?
Well, normally when you invite somebody on a show, you cue them so they know when to start talking. But he didn't do that. So then he got annoyed when I didn't just immediately start talking and I didn't know it was my turn. So then while I was trying to communicate with him and we're already off on the wrong foot, they're playing these sound effects because it's a wacky morning zoo. And the appearance just didn't come off well. And I came away thinking, well, that guy's a dick. So, and I've since learned that, yes, Mancal Mueller is that sort of person. So I have no idea if he's still around or not.
RIP to him if possible.
Yeah, because back then, the reason they had me on was because at the time, I used to write a weekly column for WND News, which is very similar to Newsmax, except much less. It's much more crazy. So,
Right.
WND News has a lot of groundbreaking reporting on it, but then lots of stories about Jesus and aliens and vaccines being the devil and stuff like that. So I was often at odds with the editorial staff.
Right.
At one time I did a column about like the benefit of vaccination, and they brought in a specialist to write a column specifically to refute mine. And I was like, okay, I really feel like I've offended somebody. So, but I wrote, to their credit, they never once told me to stop writing what I was writing about. They were a little annoyed about that particular topic, so I stayed away from it. But I had complete editorial freedom within the range of topics they wanted me to cover because it was nominally a technology column, and I did that every week for 8 years. And boy, that'll grind you down. I counted up, that's 52 a year times 8. It got old.
That does you as an artist, as a writer, because I wrote a few books here and there. I never published it. I also did some poetry. I never actually published it because whatever, it's private more for me. But it does take a toll on you if you're trying. Because I used to run an actual column for like indie magazines. I had to write all these articles and whatnot. That does take a toll on you after a while. It's work. It takes a lot of time. You have to think how to articulate how you have to say things, how you want to perceive, how you want your reader to perceive them, how you want them to feel how you're feeling towards it. You have
the writing. I've always found the writing the easy part. The hard part is the peripheral stuff that you have to come up with to get people to let you go through the door. So like I used to write articles for Harris the Harris Company, which was a body of publications. They got bought out by the Athlon Sports Group, but it was magazines like law enforcement magazines and survival magazines. And I used to write for Tactical Knives magazine, and I wrote a regular column in that. But for them to accept an article, I could write it easily. It was the photos and all the other peripheral stuff they wanted that, to make the articles pop, you needed really good high definition photos. And that's what I always found difficult, because the editor warned me, these photos can't have you in them. We need somebody who's, how do I say this? Not ugly. He didn't say it exactly like
What?
that, but that's what he meant.
No,
So
you're
I
an
used to-
alpha, bro.
But like ATP writes his own articles, right, for your own website for Raider Greats, right? And you try involving like videos of like NFL videos and all that great stuff.
Yeah.
That's what I was saying. It's beautiful stuff. You got to add stuff to it, you know, and you're doing it. So,
Well, I mean, it's you would think with all the work I do, I wouldn't always be broke. But that's what being a writer is. I looked up a bunch of famous quotes from writers once for a project I was doing. And there's a reason that writers all die like penniless and alcoholic.
who's the guy who
Because
wrote the book
they're all-
for Man on the Sea? Who wrote that book again?
Ernest Hemingway.
Yeah, he died broke. He died broke.
Well, he also killed himself.
He was a massive alcoholic, man. He was.
Yeah. He used a shotgun and killed himself.
he was also a playboy too, I heard.
Well, there was
You're not
there
going
was a
that way.
movie. I think it was a miniseries that was on broadcast television many years ago that
Yeah.
starred Stacy Keach about the real life of Ernest Hemingway. He
Yeah.
was quite the action star of a person, apparently.
Yeah, I heard he was like. Have you been to Ernest Hemingway's house? Like they have
No,
like
no,
a small museum. You have to go there. They just showcase all what he was doing, how he would like bring women into his home, how he's such a like a playboy on the nine and everything like that, and how he lost his fortune and everything like that, and then eventually.
Yes,
himself.
I think it was Hemingway who described bankruptcy as something that happens gradually, then suddenly.
Exactly.
Well, Ian Fleming was like that too. Ian Fleming was like a huge womanizer, and he was from money, so that helped him not go broke. But yeah. He was the same way, and like he was a chain smoker, and that's why he died pretty young, like in his mid-50s.
Yeah, writing's apparently very unhealthy. The guy who wrote Conan, he had a very unhealthy relationship with his mother, apparently. And when he found out that she was dying, he shot himself. And all of the Conan books and all the other stuff that he wrote, it all happened within a very few years of each other. His writing career was actually extremely prolific, but very short.
What was his name? E. Howard or
Robert E. Howard.
No, I got a
Something
crazy
Howard.
question for you, Phil. It might be controversial, okay? But I just want your take on this. You see these great stories like Wheel of Time by Robert Jordan, right? Amazing built. You ever read that at all or no?
I've actually, for whatever reason, I never have, but
You
I'm
never read-
familiar with.
So if you ever have time, look into Robert Jordan Wheel of Time. Beautiful, mythical aspects not compared, but somewhat of a subpar vibe to J.R.R. Tolkien.
Well, all fantasy is derivative of Tolkien.
I
Can't fault anybody for that.
C.S. Lewis would be pissed about you saying that, but they were friends. But yeah.
They were contemporaries. So.
They're somewhat associates. But let's get back into it, though. This what was this show called? Game of Thrones and all this garbage. I was looking at it. I was trying to read it. It's not good literature if you actually look at it. It's not good at all, in my own opinion. I don't know if you kind of look back into like.
I have kind of an attitude where George R.R. Martin is concerned because he gave an interview once where he's like, "Well, I only write when I have an extended period of time to write interrupted, and I only write when I'm at home, and only on this one word processor that's not connected to the internet, and like only when the moon is full on alternating Tuesdays, and I'm wearing my little sailor's hat that I wear everywhere." Like he just went on and on. And I'm like, this is why that book is late, George, because when a writer is late, it's not that he's staring at the screen willing the words to come to his head. It's that he's doing anything but sitting down and writing the stupid book. I should know every single book I ever wrote for Worldwide Library for Harlequin was late. Every single one.
Mm-hmm.
And I found out later when the editor retired and was replaced, I found out he had been padding the due dates by 3 months. He would tell me, "Oh, this book is due in July." And then when I turned it in 2 months late, it was still 1 month before he actually needed it.
Right.
Because writers are like noble gases. We will expand to take up every bit of the time you let us have.
It's not good literature, though. You can read it. It's shitty literature for idiots.
Well, George R.R. Martin is arguably kind of a bad.
It's like
person
Twilight
in terms of his
shit,
outlook.
man. It's not good.
Yeah, I'm not a big fan of those books. I watched the TV show and was like everyone deeply disappointed in how it wrapped up. So
right. So I'm sorry to interrupt you, gentlemen, but I just want to have one more question, Phil. Then you guys can have Adam. But I'm a huge. I really enjoy.
Smart for us, bro.
I really enjoy proper literature, like let's say like Jane Eyre, Sense and Sensibility, Secret Garden. Even Secret Garden is like it's a child book, but back from the early 1900s. You look at The Hobbit, J.R.R. Tolkien. That's considered a children's book.
Yeah.
but it's not. Adults read it. But my thing is, what kind of literature nowadays would you recommend that's on par with those type of stories nowadays that you really mainstream media wouldn't portray for you, or mainstream literature wouldn't portray for you, that's kind of on par with those type of books and writings?
That's difficult. There's plenty of great authors operating today. J.K. Rowling is a great example of
She's beautiful. Yes,
literature.
I love her. Yeah.
I mean, it was painfully obvious by the time she got to the end of that series that she was really tired of writing it. Yeah. Because when authors start killing off characters left and right, that's like, an act of, I hate this so much. I want to be doing anything but sitting here, and the owl is dead, and this guy is dead, and the fucking elf is dead.
Hedwig's dead. The owl.
Yeah. So
sad to see.
I could relate because I know what that feels. I mean, I'm nowhere near that level of success or that caliber of writing, but I know what it feels like to be sitting at your computer working on a piece of fiction that is already late, and the editor told you you're out of extensions, and if you don't turn it in, you have to give back the money that you already spent. So you'd rather be doing anything but sitting there writing it. And I did that 23 times. So it's fun the first couple of times. Around about book 10, it starts to feel like work.
So who would you recommend, though, like we should listen to readers wise towards any great writers you have coming up? Anyone you recommend? Great fiction.
Most of the fiction that I really like is older. Like I just bought a whole bunch of the Robert E. Howard Conan books on Kindle. The nice thing about Kindle is you can buy entire collections with one click. It costs a small fortune. One of my favorite fiction series is actually an adventure series by Donald Hamilton called the Matt Helm series. Matt Helm is an assassin, and all the books are written from the first person, which is very limiting for the author because you can't show the audience anything your character doesn't see or overhear. And so you get the benefit of his very cynical inner dialogue. It's kind of like your wise grandfather is going around killing people and telling you that he doesn't approve of certain modern innovations. Right. So they're great books. The series is really good.
What was your take on Lloyd Alexander as an author? Did you enjoy him at all or no?
I don't think I've ever read any Lloyd.
You never read anything by Lloyd Alexander? Prydain Chronicles, by any chance? The Black Cauldron, Castle Lear.
I read the Black Cauldron. It was a long time ago.
You have to check that series out again, sir. Beautiful series. You need to check that with Lloyd Alexander. But guys, I'm gonna mute myself real quick. I'm gonna grab another drink, so I'll be right back, gentlemen.
Dude, Elmore, you're just such a fucking intellect, bro. I love it.
I'm really not, though. That's the thing. I have a good vocabulary because I work with words all day. I have only average intelligence. I just have a great vocabulary to hang that on. So you could really simulate being smarter than you are when you use 10-cent words when 5-cent words will do.
How was it to verbally, chokehold that Vinny dude when you got him all screaming for the
I may have been a little naive. When they told me Vinny was going to be on, I just assumed he was being a good sport about everything. It didn't occur to me that it might get contentious. So when we're sitting there, you can probably even see it on my face. The point at which he starts saying, he says something like, well, you know what really makes me mad about you? And his voice was like cracking. He was right at the edge of almost crying, it sounded like. And in my head, I'm like, oh, okay. So apparently we're doing this. I was surprised because I'd never been in that type of show before in the limited time I'd been guesting on shows like that. I'd gone on WATP, I'd gone on the BS show and Uncle Rico, and I've been on like Casey Armstrong's show and popped over to see Joey, and I've just kind of been all over.
We're boys with Joey C. We read hard with him, so
Yeah, I find Joey very likable. I don't even fully understand why. But
he's the man. Yeah.
Today, for example, he just happened to show that he has an ice pick within immediate reach at his desk. And I'm like, I thought it was just me.
He's done so much funny shit like over the last, like, if you go back to, I think our episode like 4, he was on our episode like 3 or 4 months ago. And it was the first time he really had been on any show more than like 10 minutes. And he did like 4.5 hours. And dude, he says all the same shit then. He talked about his whole life, and then he says all the same shit. So people are like, how could he? Yeah, it's crazy. It's funny stuff. But
it's a trip. His wife and he have a good dynamic. I like it. I like seeing them interact.
Yeah, dude, he's funny, man. But no, yeah, it's like you pop up, and then that whole thing. you're such like a dual threat in this game because like you can whoop some ass in real life with like your tactical training in that dojo of life in the 40 realm, and then on the web you're tearing it up verbally and mentally on some of these Dabbleverse fools, you know.
Well, I think you might be giving me too much credit, but thank you. I fell into this. I've been doing news commentary on that channel for over a year, and no one knew or cared. I had like 200 subscribers, and I was listening to Uncle Rico and all that stuff. I found it through Carl and Who Are These Podcasts, and I got so annoyed. I'm like, I want to do an episode and talk about Stuttering John so I can get out from inside my head these things that are annoying me. So I did, and then I did it a couple more times because I couldn't stop. And then Bob Levy said on the show, you know, that big guy with the beard who talks about John. I'm like, I think he's talking about me. And it just kind of escalated from there. So,
dude, who we got to talk about some of the other guys, like ancillary guys, because I don't know. I know you're tight with like Bob and Shuli and Joey, but you might need some more alliances because like Brendan's going after you pretty hard.
Well, I mean, is there anyone that Kevin Brennan doesn't go after? I'm honestly astonished he even has any idea who I am. I can only assume it's because I've been on like shows that whose component parts he hates. But I would be astonished to think that I'm actually on his radar. I don't think Stuttering John remembers who I am from day to day. I think the only reason he has any idea is, well, he'll read through Muttering Jay's timeline, and Muttering Jay's been obsessed with me lately because when John was going away, he needed something to do, I guess.
He looks at you as his biggest threat, Stuttering John. I know, and I know he recognizes you.
I mean, he definitely hates Shuli and Carl way more. And I think if you asked him, if you gave him a gun with 2 bullets and put Carl, me, and Shuli in an elevator with him, he'd probably shoot Shuli twice. So
maybe, but no, okay. What about dude Zumak? I think he could be an ally of yours if you invest a little time.
I don't know. Chad, I kind of feel like I don't have anything against him, but you know, he seems mean. So I just kind of avoid him.
I mean, what about this rumor that I saw on Twitter that you're Melton's dad?
I suppose I don't know how old Patrick Melton is. I suppose the math might actually work. I'm not aware that I have any sons that are unaccounted for. If Patrick Melton was my son, I guess I'd be proud of the success he's made of himself.
What? I would say my condolences if that was your kid.
No, I have nothing against Patrick Melton. I've watched some of the videos on his Clips channel. I've enjoyed what I've seen there, mostly because I enjoyed him picking on Aaron and April Imholt.
But you should cover him, bro. If you covered him, you'd blow up because
that's double-edged. If I started covering him, eventually he'd notice and start going after me. And
he's already covering you, bro. So you just gotta like fucking use that intellect to destroy.
Well, that's the thing, though. I'm not really out to go to war with anybody. I did that article. I did that show on the various filters and puppets and whatnot of the Dabbleverse, and a lot of people were like, "You can't go after those people," and I wasn't going after anybody. I talked about the avatars and what I thought was great about them, and made a few minor critiques that were just to add flavor. But I'm really not interested in going after anybody as such. It's really easy to make content by starting internet fights. Because people will watch, they'll tune in people love drama that doesn't involve them. But I find it a lot more interesting to be objective and just do commentary and, offer some kind of analysis that isn't immediately pushing anybody away. Like anybody, with possibly the exception of Stuttering John, could watch my shows and hopefully not be like, oh, I hate this guy. He's talking about me now. I got to go to war with him. Because, it's the old Michael Jordan statement that Republicans buy sneakers too. I'm not looking to artificially constrain my audience. I pick on John because he's the reason I wanted to start talking about this stuff in the first place. But if in some parallel universe where he was capable of having a good faith conversation, if he wanted me to come on his show, I would. If he would agree to come on mine, I'd have him. But obviously in the real world, he's a person of bad faith, so it's not possible to have a conversation with him.
So Phil, you remind me of my mother in a lot of ways. I'm not going to lie to you. You are.
That is a compliment I've never received before.
I'm not kidding. You're so brilliant. You're so smart, and it's just insane to see you right here in front of me because you're like a man. I don't want to be disrespectful here. You're a man who understands talent to the point where abrasions and just masculinity would push it away, but art and artists need more cultivation. You are of that, I would say, sphere. So you're very smart with that. So I just want to know, like, digging deeper into you. He pulls up his books. I want to know deeper about you, like as a younger man. Because Phil, how old are you now?
I'm in my early 50s.
Early 50s, and so let's just say, like, during your childhood, so early 50s, you were a young teen, during the 70s, right?
Well, I grew up mostly in the 80s.
80s, yeah. So reading books and whatnot, what would your mother, your father kind of encourage you to read? Like, what was the atmosphere reading wise in your household during that time?
Actually, I was reading at a level beyond my age level for a long time because my father had an extensive library of all kinds of fantasy and action novels. I used to read through his action novel library, especially because he loved The Executioner and Nick Carter and The Death Merchant and all these sort of pulp action novel series that came about starting in the late 70s. That's how I discovered the Matt Helm series that I like so much. And the irony is that reading those books was the research I needed to be able to write for the Executioner series, which is the series that I wrote for, because that author sold the rights to his books to Harlequin in Canada, and they had a men's adventure imprint. So they hired a staff of ghostwriters down through the years, of whom I was one. And I did 23 books in various series that were related to that property.
Right. But anything classical, though, because here's the big thing. When you're growing up in a family, back in the day, my mother taught me that, and my father taught me that, even though a lot of people my age don't know what the fuck Dante's, Inferno or just the Divine Comedy is. That's you need to know what the fuck that is.
I know
growing
that
up.
I actually,
I've read that.
when I was a much younger child, they used to make these like condensed, simplified versions of classic literature that had a picture on one side and then the words on the other. And I read versions of that for like Around the World in 80 Days and
right. I read that shit too. I remember that shit. Was kind of like light bluish looking.
Yeah.
I read that shit. I read that
colors.
shit too.
Yeah. And then I read the full versions of books like that. A Connecticut Yankee, King Arthur's Court.
Yep.
The Swiss Family Robinson, which was
I read the same shit,
Robinson
man.
Crusoe.
You read that? What?
Oh yeah, all kinds of classics.
Whoa! Generations just like we're melding here.
Yeah, so I read a lot of the classics. I really enjoyed them. And then tragically, my father's youngest brother, I think he was in his early 20s. He was my Uncle Ken. Uncle Ken passed away, and I inherited a box of books that belonged to him. And because I was young enough and I didn't really know him, we didn't know him all that well. I wanted to feel like I was getting to know my uncle, even though he was no longer around. So I read books that I might not have picked up otherwise that he left to me. And I ended up reading all kinds of classics. To this day, one of my favorite books is one of the books from that collection. It is a 1950s novel that's meant for like juvenile audiences. And it's about a young boy who falls in with a crowd of ne'er-do-well hot rodders, gets in trouble with the law, ends up learning to channel his impulses into productive, like actually learning how to work on engines. He's remanded to the custody of a kindly mechanic guy who takes him under his wing. And then eventually he has to duel the hot rod club owner in a sanctioned hill climb event with their hot rods, which of course he wins. And my favorite part of that silly schmaltzy book is when he goes out and he gets a good 50 style buzz cut and gets rid of his stupid hot rodder hippie hair. And he comes home and his mother starts crying and he's like, "What's the matter, Ma? Don't you like my new haircut?" And she's like, "It's the best haircut you've ever had." So presumably his father died in the war or something. I don't know if they come out and say that, but it's my favorite book. And it was a book that belonged to my uncle.
What's your least favorite book all time? That just made you want to
besides Cedric Johns?
No,
something that actually meant to you literature wise. So you just maybe it was You know,
I think the book that I hate most, the book that offended me most, is a book called The Chocolate War, which for whatever reason
Yeah.
is popular in like junior high and high school. They love to make students read that book. And it is a crap book that is not appropriate for younger audiences, for one thing, but no one should read it because it's a stupid, stupid novel that is basically about teenagers being brutal to each other in a very crass way that the author's just trying to shock you for impact, like cheap impact value.
Like
I hate the book, and I hate that anyone in any school reads it.
you like Charlie and the Chocolate Factory, right? Roald Dahl. You like all that.
You
shit?
don't like chocolate though?
No.
You don't like chocolate?
Clearly, I do. Look at me. The Chocolate War has nothing to do with Charlie and the Chocolate
War,
Factory.
yeah.
The Chocolate War is a drama that they love to make kids read in like junior high and high school, or they did back then. I don't know if they still do. They shouldn't.
One of my
if
kids
they
brings
do.
that shit on. That shit's going in
But
the fire pit, bro.
I've read Charlie and the Chocolate Factory. I've read James and the Giant Peach. The problem with Roald Dahl is that he secretly hated children, and
he didn't.
everyone
he
looks
didn't.
past.
Yeah, I heard that.
No. He didn't hate children. He hated how people controlled and made children who they were.
When I read his books, I just feel like there's this undercurrent of hatred for children
No.
that kind of girds everything he does.
You have to
I
look
just
past
can't
that.
help feeling that way.
He hates children that have been controlled by like the headman. Because you got to look at Roald Dahl's past. He was a child who he went into the military academy. They controlled him as a child. He went through all that boarding school bullshit. Children are supposed to be innocent, and you have to realize this in all his books that innocent children win to some extent in the end, but all their children don't, right? So it shows you he doesn't hate children completely. He just hates children who have been controlled or who allow control to happen to them. But the innocent child always wins in the end to some extent. So he doesn't hate children, but he just hates controlled children who allow it to happen.
Well, if I ever
Boring.
get around to
Boring.
reading it again, I'll try to look at it through that lens.
Yeah, let's talk about some of Phil's books because I actually had questions about a few of the books, and we were actually doing a little research before you jumped on, and the one we were really digging into that looks really dank is Duke Manfist.
Duke Manfist it's an action parody that I wrote for an IP development company in Florida. And the idea came about because I was talking with the guy who did the art, who made the cover that you're looking at. We were talking about books we hated, and we hit on the idea of me deliberately writing an action novel badly, like, the kind of bad fiction that we would make fun of. But when I started writing it, I found it was much funnier if instead of just writing it badly, Duke Manfist was sort of like mentally handicapped for justice. Like he's too dumb to be killed and too single-minded to stop. And then I peopled his world with all these other weirdos, and it just worked out. They were a lot of fun to write.
Who was a main inspiration for this guy? Like it kind of was there like a
Duke Nukem?
someone
I'll
in
be honest,
news or
when I picture Duke Manfist in my head, I kind of see Duke Nukem, but much dumber. So he's kind of like Duke Nukem with a traumatic brain injury.
Yeah, I can tell by his fucking mouth. It's arching that.
is he more like this is like a modern guy, right?
Yeah, no, it's set in the present day. We did several of these books, and I started doing holiday themed stories.
Yeah,
and the Christmas one. Yeah, the Christmas one is the one I'm proudest of because I spent the entire book setting up just one joke at the very end of the book. And I guarantee anybody who reads "'Twas the Night Before Duke Manfist Saved Christmas," I guarantee you will laugh when you get to the end.
Dude, I mean, I'm gonna get. Can you do it, please? Get these in audio books.
Unfortunately, they are not my property. They belong to the IP company, so pretty much you're limited to the Kindles.
We should just pay Ray like $2 to transcribe it from his voice into an audiobook or something.
Ray reading an audiobook would be a trip.
David, do you have any questions for Phil here, sir? You've been kind of quiet for a little bit.
How much time did you spend? Like, I if you look at my name on my last name's Skarica, so David Skarica or Dave Skarica. I have one novel, but the rest of them are nonfiction, like financial books. So how much time did you spend writing these things? Because when I was looking at the dates, it looked like you were just banging them out like a few.
Oh yeah,
at a time.
I like to say that you only get one first novel, and most of them are terrible. And the thing about your first novel is it usually takes you a couple of years to finish it. And with each book that I wrote, the timeline started compressing. And the first things I wrote were garbage and aren't worth even considering. When I finally started writing commercial fiction for Harlequin, those action novels, I had to get good fast. And they give you about 3-4 months to write a book like that. Now, they're not super long. They're like 60,000 words. So that's a thin paperback, the kind of thing that you used to be able to pick up off the grocery store shelves.
Yeah.
60,000 words is kind of the minimum for a full-length novel. A longer book is around 80, 85. That's a thicker paperback. Anything above 100,000, you had better be J.K. Rowling or George R.R. Martin, because now it's getting indulgent.
Yeah, like my financial books tend to be that 70 to 75 range, so kind of in the middle of that. So
yeah, and that's a substantial book, but it's not like overly long, like ridiculously so.
Yeah.
So with I think my record for writing a full-length novel is 4 days. They were not a pleasant 4 days.
No, that sounds horrible.
There was at least one overnighter in there, and that's because the editor said, I have a problem. Another writer dropped out. I need to fill this slot. And if I don't have the manuscript by this date, I'm in trouble. So I dropped everything and I managed to bang that out. The other problem, of course, is usually I was starting late. Like in many cases, I started after the first due date. So, because again, writers will take exactly as much time as you give them to finish things. Because there's always something else you'd rather be doing than just sitting and concentrating. It takes a lot out of you to do it. At least in my case, it does, to do an entire fiction novel from start to finish.
No,
I always ended up.
Yeah, but
I write for something called Financial Intelligence Reports through Newsmax or just investment stuff, and it's 1,500 to 2,000 words. It takes me usually one full day to write it because it's also a lot of research. And that day, I just want to go to bed at like 8 p.m.
Because your brain is fully engaged the whole time. It's exhausting. And every time I finished one of those novels, I always felt like I'd been through a bender, and then I'd look around my bedroom, and because at one time I was living and working out of just a little one-room outfit that I was renting in a house near the airport. And I'd look around and it would be nothing but, pizza boxes and lots and lots of sugar to fuel my writing binges. I don't miss it. I miss the money, because the property shut down. They don't make those books anymore. I miss the money, but I don't miss doing the work.
About how much did you get per book? Like if they're like, hey, can you write one book coming out?
For the executioner novels, I want to say it was around $4,000 per book.
Dude, if we should try to work out some compensation and deal structure where you write the quintessential biography on Joey C.
His story is definitely one that's worth telling.
Yeah, I think right now you're the leader in the clubhouse, like as the guy who is going to get the rights to write that. I think maybe even the movie rights.
The Joey C's story would definitely make a compelling book. It would be a lot of fun to write.
Yeah, I think that I'd read that.
We could call it "Look Behind Me,"
Yeah.
the Joey C story.
Yeah, sorry, I didn't mean to. So what is your take on Ray?
Well, apparently people keep telling me that he's been talking smack about me, and I don't know Ray.
He hates fat people, like legit. No, he legit does. Like he
it's a weird thing.
He fights with people at bars or at the gym, and the first thing he says is like, "Oh, you're a fat," something.
Yeah, when he was on with Chad last Friday, he kept calling Chad a fat
fuck.
What's weird is Ray strikes me as one of those people who seems really awkward inside his own skin. So I don't picture him being able to handle himself if someone decided to punch him. So it's a bold strategy to go around antagonizing people that you don't know, I guess. But
does that bother you though? Like that he's like so anti-fat people?
No, people like and hate what they like and hate. I mean, even if it's me specifically, he doesn't like. I don't know the guy, so it's not really an issue for me. I generally don't. Since I've been doing this for so long, and since I've already experienced, like in my early 20s, what it was like to have entire bulletin boards of people talking shit about me, it doesn't really faze me anymore, because my work in martial arts writing was enough to draw all kinds of internet hate back in the day, and back when I would have been foolish enough to write entire articles talking about it, which I did at the time. now all these years later, I'm like, why bother? Because I've since come to understand if people are talking about you, it's going to drive people over to you. It's going to drive the audience that you want to acquire. It may take some time, but it's not a bad thing. I don't deliberately go around trying to piss people off just to try and get attention, but all you have to do is have opinions and express them, and you'll naturally piss people off, and it'll happen, whether you wanted it to or not.
What's pissing me off is that Carlos Danger dude.
I've heard the name, but I've never heard his show.
He did a show, and he was trying to say you're a Karen.
Well, that's fair. Like, if we're going to define Karen as wrote one politely worded email in which I spoke the complete truth about the fact that John can't stop fucking threatening people, then fine. It's funny to me how that was the greatest moral outrage that Vinnie Paulino has ever suffered or ever will suffer, and from which he will never recover. But all of the stuff that John has done, his only response to that was, well, I don't approve of that either. And yet I'm the one you're screaming at. The guy who already tried to apologize to you, told you I wouldn't do something like that again, admitted I was wrong because I was mad at the time. It's like you just want to be angry. And he went on the Insufferable Bastards, I think it was, like Saturday, the next morning after he and I got into it on Point Dabble Point. And he was like, I'm paraphrasing, so this is not a direct quote, but he was like, he woke up with a sense of dread and his stomach was churning and he just can't take it anymore. And, this has been so awful and it's taken so much out of him, but apparently I'm inconsolable. And I'm like, you just described being inconsolable, man. I'm sorry if you're offended that that's how I described it.
He's just never met a guy like you, like who can just mental him on a debate. He thought he had the higher ground when he came in, because he's like, oh dude, I got this, I'm gonna spring it on him out of the blue. And you dissected him, bro.
I rewatched. I hadn't actually seen it from the outside, because you're not really paying attention to the other screens when you're doing the talk. You're waiting for your turn to speak and trying to pay attention to what other people are saying. But I went back and watched the video, and you can see him writhing in his chair every time I make a point that he doesn't like. He's staring down at the table. He was just miserable, just a miserable, angry person. And I'm sorry that this has taken so much out of him. I hope, it is my fervent hope that one day he will be able to get past this terrible thing in which nothing changed and no one was affected by the fact that I wrote an email that he received. So someday he'll get past it.
But yeah, and then Carlos, I think he's also feeling a little threatened because you're like a little more charismatic and like a little more built, but you're kind of got the same role as Carlos.
Carlos is a fucking bitch. I never liked Carlos, dude. He came on here acting like he knew what the fuck he was doing. He's befriending all these fucking people. I'm not. No, Phil. Phil. Just let me take this over for a second, all right, buddy? Okay. We've had Carlos come on here beforehand. He acts like he's just your buddy. He's gonna be there for you all the time. And this is a disgusting thing. You gotta realize, no one's your friend online. No one's your fucking friend. That's obvious between Derek, BYB, and Gino Bisconti, why Gino Bisconti destroyed him, and why Bobby P is a fucking loser, and why he doesn't deserve any money for his funeral. But anyway, let's continue on. The thing is, you just cannot allow these people just to like continuously talk and whatnot. Like, I'm just saying, it's just like, dude, what are we talking about?
Carlos Danger.
Talking about Danger.
Danger, you're a bitch. You shit on me. You shit on me on my show. You say, oh, I ain't shit, bitch. I'm catching up to you and subscribers, motherfucker. And I have way bigger guests than you. You control all this Dabbleverse shit. And Phil Elmore on our show, you're not going to shit on him on our show. This guy, no, here's my thing. People want to bring you on, Phil, to kind of like, oh, who's Phil? No, Phil, you have an interesting future. You have an interesting past. You're an author. You actually know what the fuck you're talking about to some extent. You write books. You know what's going on in the book world. That's interesting to me. I love artists who are writers. Like, you need to be exposed more, not just because of what you are in the Dabbleverse, but who you are as a person, in my opinion.
Well, I
There's
think my
more to be
show
said
being
with
on,
Phil's story.
Well, going on every weeknight, I think gives me more than ample opportunity to show people who I am. Hopefully people will tune in and hopefully they'll be entertained by it and want to come back.
Well, everyone knows like you're a real genius compared to like 90% of the dabblers. Like most of the people in the dabblers, they don't even read books.
Well, you don't have to read books to be smart. I mean, the fact is, I have a good vocabulary. Like I said, my intelligence is only average, and there is no way that any human being can be described as less built or than me. There's no one I'm better built than. I'm just kind of.
Well, I mean, your show is kind of like
guy.
his in a sense. Like he covers like the dabbler news kind of, and I've only seen your show basically once, and you kind of touch on like some of the recent happenings in the dabbler.
Yeah, it's like a news
he looks
and
at you
commentary
as competition,
show.
Bro.
Well, especially because you don't have to watch people live if you don't choose to. There's no such thing as competition. There is as many shows as you can watch as you want to. And even if they're on against each other, you can watch one of them live and the other one, the replay. So I don't see anybody as competition. I'm certainly not offering any competition to anybody. I'm not taking anything away from anybody. I am familiar with that attitude though, because authors, writers are like that. Right. Writers, we all hate everyone and each other, I should say, because deep down, writers have this sneaking suspicion that every dollar that this writer makes is a dollar I won't be able to earn. We all believe that everyone else's success comes at our expense. And it's hard not to believe that when a turd like John Scalzi gets a multi-million-dollar contract and he's an awful person. So, it's hard not to take that personally, but you can't. Like intellectually, you got to acknowledge like there's plenty to go around. And just because someone else is successful doesn't mean I can't be, but there's a lot of luck involved. So a lot of luck, a lot of networking.
Have you ever been in any writers clubs before?
I attended the Science Fiction Writers Association conference and like weekend hoopla in, I think it was near Arlington.
How was the drama in that? I bet that was nuts.
There was quite a bit of drama. I was warned by
the
IP company.
I know there was, motherfucker.
I was warned.
Were you in there deep in the drama?
No, because I didn't know who anybody was, so I was just kind of oblivious to it all. Neil Gaiman was there, for example, in the audience. And
a gay man was there.
Back to you, sir.
Hey, this is an LGBTQ plus positive show here.
Yes. Phil, say nothing.
Maybe walk back that last comment, maybe.
Who? No, he's Republican, bro. He can say it.
Neil Gay Man. Did you just say Neil Gay Man? Are you telling the gay men of America to kneel down before the powerful Phil Elmore?
Real quick, Stevie, before you do your thing, Phil, before you answer, Stevie, real quick, look at me real quick. You better fucking work, Ryan, bro. I'm not capping, man. You better work that motherfucker.
No cap, kid.
No
cap at all.
Kid, fuck you, bitch. You're gone. Good night. I love you. But go ahead, Phil. Go ahead, continue.
No, Phil, I love Neil Gaiman. I'm a big fan of the Sandman, so I'm sure.
No, I went to one of the SIFWA awards ceremonies, and I was, they warned me ahead of time, like, you're going to hate all of these people. I'm like, I don't know all of these people. I'm like, no, trust me, you'll hate them. I don't mean Neil Gaiman or any of the famous authors in attendance, but like the rank and file SIFWA people, the John Scalzis of the world. Like, I'm glad I didn't know to dislike John Scalzi when I was anywhere near him, because I might have been tempted. So it's just as well. It all worked out.
Phil, I got a question for you. You see modern day writing. It's so broken. It's so just sexual. It's so just deviant. It's so on guard. There's no nuances to it. And I'm not gonna lie to you, as a reader, for me, I've read so much great literature throughout my lifetime. Thankful to my mother, like you inspire me to be, because you remind me of my mother. I am just disgusted. Like Game of Thrones was because they're great art. Twilight because they're great art. It's just all disgusting things. And Phil, you're old enough to understand this, so just don't interrupt. But listen. Just listen. All these beautiful aspects of literature is just decayed and just tarnished by this disgusting American modern British aspect of literature, mostly fantasy literature. If you could, in any aspect, I would say, just encourage us as the younger generation to push on the great ideologies of Charles Dickens. That's his name, right? Jane Eyre. What's her name? Charlotte Bronte.
Yeah.
You know, all these great artists and artists. You know, Charles
Ernest
Hemingway.
Hemingway.
Yeah, exactly. Good shit, Louis. All I gotta say is this: what is so wrong? What do we need to do for?
Who's that? Mir?
Who is that? I'm not talking again until you delete that shit. Who was that?
That was
Is that
Joey
you,
C.
Louis? You
No,
fucking bitch.
no, bro. Dude, the person.
I
you
know you're.
No, I
brought in-
think-
I know you're
I-
team ski mask, team. Bobby
No, I think
P,
that actually is Joey
ourselves.
C. But
Yeah. I think it was maybe
Okay.
the guy that you brought in who
Yeah,
it
one
suddenly
sec.
started echoing.
you don't have
once
to
that
add him.
guy came.
I'll add him when I come back. Keep
Add
going
him
on your speech about authors.
Tell him
Like-
he has 2 browsers open or he's using
He's
the
an idiot.
other non-Chrome. For fuck's sake.
Well, it might just be that he didn't have his headphones in because his mic was picking up the
That's
audio.
fair
Yeah,
point.
even though Stevie doesn't have earphones in, but you know.
I don't.
No, it was Joey.
Also,
So
Stevie's a genius.
No, the audio you were hearing was Joey. I could hear his wife talking in the background.
I hope you break. I hope you break fucking Ryan Castroveris' eye straight. Oh, I gotta say to you.
that's buddy. That's a good way to look at it. But you know, I'm just gonna go in there and do what I need to do.
I'm sorry I missed the interview they had with you.
No,
by
it's
the
all
way.
good. It's
I
okay.
missed
You guys.
that. I would have loved to ask you a lot of questions, but you know, you have so much going on, so I didn't.
Well, you can fire away here. you
Don't
know.
worry. No, not right now. I don't want to interrupt you, and you know. But let's go back to Phil. Phil, you're so great, and I just respect you so much. And you just witness, like Phil, because you're from the 70s and 80s. You just witness like the Pride Day Chronicles, Lloyd Alexander, J.R. Token, just follow up. Yeah, he's just so great, man.
Thank you.
What the hell kind of point is that?
No. My thing is this: though, Phil, as a child, was bred into like amazing literature. Like, I'm not kidding you, Stevie Lou. Look at this shit. Latin during school days back in the 80s and 70s, you had to know Latin. You had to know this. You had to learn this. All the Pride and Prejudice. That's not college level. That's high school level. Nowadays, it's either college or
Talking
you
about
learn as
Arabian
an
Nights.
adult. Whatever, man. I'm just saying, Phil, you witnessed like amazing literature as a child and just being exposed to it. And nowadays, like your average kid doesn't know who the fuck Hemingway is or anything Mark Twain. That's disturbing to me. Or just British literature. It's just disgusting to see, like, as an older gentleman just watching, I would say, younger civilization just fall to that. What's your take on that? Like, you're kind of scared about it. It kind of makes you sad.
No,
you know,
I have a lot of hope for the future. I think yes, it's crazy, but everyone always thinks it's crazy. You know, hey Joey.
Joe, your shit is fucked. What are you on, dog?
What the fuck?
So
Yeah.
like for instance,
Hey, no one talk. Joey, say something right now.
Hello?
What up, King?
What up?
What are you doing, bro?
Driving.
Oh, dang.
To where?
Where? Well, I can't ask any motherfucker to do something for me that I ain't willing to do for my fucking self. So, I gotta take care of something.
You heading out west?
No, I'm just going in the hood here for a minute.
wait, how is there a green screen in your car?
I put it. It's standard. I could put it in.
Yeah, you
Put
can
it down
put it
in
in
my
your car.
background. Hi Phil, how are you?
Good.
Who's else there? That's Stevie Lou.
Yeah, Lou's here right
What's
now.
up, pal?
Hey Lou, good luck on Friday, brother. I'm glad I
you.
get to tell you that, man. Good luck, man.
Why
Kill
do
that
you got me
motherfucker.
blocked on Twitter, Joey?
Who?
You have me blocked.
No, maybe it was a mistake.
It
I don't
probably
think I
was a
blocked you. Yeah, I didn't block you. I know I blocked Ski Mask. I'll check and I'll unblock
Yeah,
you. You know I
check
wouldn't
it,
do that to
check
you.
it, buddy. I
Joey.
was worried you were mad at me.
No, I'm not mad at you, bro. Never you, man.
Joey, it's Mur talking to you.
What's up, man?
How long are you gonna be in this aspect for?
I don't know, a couple hours. I got to go take care of something.
Damn. All right. I have some questions for you about. I'll catch you next time. Then, all right, buddy.
All right, brother. You guys be good, man. Be
All right.
safe.
See you, Joey.
Peace,
All
man.
right,
Have
see
a
you
good night.
guys.
You too, man. God bless.
All right, brother. All right, later. Bye.
Peace. All right, he's gone. So let's continue on though. So Phil, you witnessed.
That was dank.
Dude, I gotta say, Joey C.
C's
Even
the
though,
man.
I mean, even though Joey C's mic is trash half the time, even though everything's fucked up half the time, he does know what he's doing, and I will acknowledge that he has 5,000 plus subscribers. Right?
Huge. Michael Francisi bump.
I mean, it's more the ski mask. It's more than anything I could ever imagine. I mean, it's just insane at this point.
Even with the echo, I think the microphone in his car might be better than the microphone he uses day to day.
Yeah, Vince. Sorry, man. That's just the price you pay for having Joey C on. Sometimes it's
That
worth
is 5,000 subscribers. That's what you get sometimes.
You know, and if you think about it, like musicians, like guitarists, they spend like thousands of dollars on these like repeat pedals and all these echo machines, and that motherfucker just does it naturally.
It's
kind of impressive.
It is impressive.
You know what? Now that I know that he was in his car, it had to have been a whole Bluetooth thing, which is why we're getting that echo.
It needed the money.
So I want to kind of dive into you, Stevie, a little bit here because
Blue.
since you decided to pull up, I've never done a Stevie Lou interview before, and you,
I'm in bed too. This is the bedtime interviews with Stevie Lou.
Exactly. So you're always kind of lucid or something. So you and Phil know each other, correct?
No, I don't know Phil. I don't know Phil at all, but I'm aware of Phil. Definitely, I don't have.
Have we ever been
any
on a
correspondence
podcast together? Because Stevie looks familiar to me.
I honestly don't think we have, but I know. I mean,
you both have no hair, so I kind of figure you guys would know each other.
Oh, all right.
Well, we're not like on some bald guy carrier wave where we just, it's you.
Combat guys, bald. Yeah, I see.
But Phil says he knows you, so what's going on here, Stevie? You lying to the crowd, or you just
No, he just looks familiar.
Oh,
I've been on some of the shows. I've been on MLC. I don't know if you watch Misery Loves Company.
That's probably where I've seen you on. Yeah,
I do a bunch of that now. It's kind of my main gig in the entertainment world.
So, Stevie, what books did you read as a child growing up?
You know, I like to read some sports books, but
As a
not
kid?
just like there were some really good sports books. My favorite one was the Jim Valvano story. What was that book called? Personal Foul. Personal Foul, the Jim Valvano story.
Yeah,
absolutely out of control. And then there was another one called My Favorite Summer, 1956 by Mickey Mantle. I don't know if you ever heard of him.
Sure.
And
That's
like
sure.
that's
I'm not a New Yorker. I don't know.
I read the Mick.
Yeah,
his
exactly.
autobiography. That's
Exactly.
amazing.
So basically, that book that I'm referencing is like they took a specific period of his life 1 year, and they went deep into that year. So it's kind of like an addition to the mix.
What's your favorite fiction?
My favorite fiction, I guess I was a huge Hunter S. Thompson fan. So
what do you write?
I would probably have to go with Fear and Loathing is kind of a cheap answer, but that's definitely up there.
What's his name? Good.
I like The Curse of the Lono. That's another really good one of his. But that's the thing with Hunter S. Thompson. You know, he kind of
Hunter S.
blurs the lines between, like, I couldn't say Fear and Loathing on the Campaign Trail, which is probably my favorite book of his.
Jeez, this guy looks tweaked, bro. You like this guy?
Thompson?
He was all right.
Hell's Angels, The Run Diary. What?
I didn't read a lot
those
of
were
his
his early. Those were his two of his earliest works that you're referencing there, and honestly, two of them I think is not as solid works for what I was looking for when I read Thompson. I also am a bit of a psychedelic guy, and he was a bit of a scattershot. Like the true essence of psychedelic art, I felt kind of
what
transferred
book were you,
from him.
What book were you talking about again, Israel? I'm sorry.
You know who's good is Tom Robbins. He's like good for like that type of psychedelic.
I read that Fierce Creatures Home from Warm Climates. That was a pretty good.
I haven't read that one.
Fear and Loathing.
He's one guy I've read a few books of, basically.
Yeah, Fear and Loathing in Las Vegas is most popular and most well known. But I really enjoyed Fear and Loathing on the Campaign Trail 76. That book.
What about Curse
quite
of
a
Lono or Screw Jack?
Yeah, Curse of Lono is this one where it's one of his most underrated, I think, pieces of fiction where he talks about going to, and again,
Hawaii.
he blurs. He talks about going to the Hawaii to cover the Hawaii Marathon, and it's basically a story of him and Ralph Steadman, who is his illustrator, his famous illustrator who worked with Pink Floyd.
Oh shit!
Like
okay.
him and Steadman going to Hawaii with their families and having a vacation from hell, and like making comparisons to Captain Cook, who was who we say in modern times discovered Hawaii and was also ceremoniously I think cannibalized by the Hawaiians because they thought he was some sort of god that needed to be killed.
What kind of introduced you to this writer then? Well, how'd you find Hunter S. Thompson? How'd you kind of get into him?
Very
He's
simply,
mainstream, bro. He's pop culture.
Well,
I know, but how'd you find him though?
Yeah, well, I would say very simply put, like they came out with a film for Fear and Loathing with Johnny Depp as Hunter S. Thompson in around 2001 or so, and that coincidentally kind of linked up to exactly when I started experimenting.
Actually reading the books, not just watching the movies, but you're actually reading the books.
I think Johnny Depp actually helped finance shooting Hunter S. Thompson's ashes out of a cannon, which was his final wish.
They were boys. They were both from Louisville, Kentucky. They were both from the same town, so they kind of were kindred spirits. There's like this famous story that Depp was staying with Thompson for months on end to try to get his character, and Thompson had Depp sleep in his basement, which also doubled as his armory. So basically, Johnny Depp said that like he was up one night late at night by himself downstairs in the armory smoking a cigarette, and like Hunter S. Thompson came down to say goodnight to him, and he like got all nervous real quick and took the barrel that Johnny was ashing the cigarette on top of away from him really quick. And Johnny was like, "What's that all about?" He's like, "Holy fuck, that's a barrel of gunpowder that you're ashing your cigarette into." So he's like, "I thought I had left that somewhere." It's kind of good shit. So yeah, Thompson was my guy.
Damn. So you actually, this is amazing to me, and I'm gonna be honest with you guys here. This is so strange to me, and I never really witnessed this a lot. And just talking to people, how just brilliant and how well, I would say, just there's so much history to somebody when you actually just talk to them about stories and books. And you see Stevie Lou here, and like a lot of people say, "Shut up, Stevie." And Stevie Lou, I'm not gonna lie to you, man. I've seen you throughout all your shows and all you do, and even you, Phil. Like I said before, even you, Dr. Chow. Aaron betrays you guys as these idiots, these fools, these morons. And all I have to say is no. You guys actually have you guys are brilliant. Dr. Chow's a Saudi Arabian. I consider him a prince at this point.
Pretty much.
Phil Elmore, I consider you basically the author of J.R.R. Tolkien. You are so fucking brilliant. No, you don't have to say you're not, but you are just so smart. You grew up in such a great time in the U.S. during the 80s. Your mother and your father taught you so much great things. You read so much great literature. You're so brilliant. And you are. You know a lot of things what you're doing. You have a career for yourself. You actually are very smart. You're very diligent. And you don't let anyone tell you no. You know what I'm saying? I honor you as a man. You're a great man to talk to. I really respect you as a human being. You're a great person.
That's the nicest way of saying I'm old, but I am old.
No, you are old, but it's an honor to meet you. And Stevie Lou, even though people call you bucktooth, they call you a heroin addict, and they're dealing drugs. You're not dealing drugs. You're not bucktooth. You're not a fucking tweaker. You are. I'm not gonna lie to you. You are you're a gentleman. You're a good man to talk to. I really like, even though when you and I went back and forth on that BYB thing, I understood and you understood at some point in time. I'm not actually shitting on you as a person. I do respect you as a man. Like, no cap to you. I respect you as a man. You are a man. You have your thing going on. I will never disrespect you as a human being. I always will respect you. I'll never do anything dirty towards you. And it's just good to see that you, in my opinion, that you're just more than just meets the eye. You have a lot of stories to tell that no one's ever kind of touched on. And that's what's the beauty about you, because people just think you're fucking, you're a comic in New York, you're doing your thing. No, There's more to Stevie Lou. There's more to the human being aspect, and that's what I love to learn about you, because we never interviewed you. No one's ever interviewed you before, I don't think. But
Psycho.
Dude,
I love to see that you're going to AA meetings and you're taking stuff from it home with you. This is really impressive that you're showing this.
I just love just talking.
No, respect is definitely, you should give respect, and I respect all four of you guys in this chat bubble here.
Friend of mine
Stevie Lou, I'm not gonna lie to you, buddy. You always have a close place in my heart, and just like Jesus Christ, just talking books with you is fun, because I'm a huge book nerd. I love books. It's fun.
Listen, I don't want to take away too much because this is Phil and your guys' night here. I do appreciate you guys having me on. Much respect, Phil.
It's an honor, sir.
It's nice to meet you.
Thank you very much, buddy, and we'll definitely, hopefully, catch you down the line. Maybe we get you on BYB one of these days. I know the folks.
I was on BYB.
Oh shit, I was not. That's what it was. I wasn't there for that episode. I showed up late for that episode, so I did miss out on that. But what was I going to say? Oh yeah, people can go to StevieLouComedy.com.
Yes, sir.
Friday at 6:30 p.m.
Yeah.
What's going on Friday? What's going on Friday?
No,
there's a Rumble.
Amazing boxing matches Friday.
Hey,
we're gonna be pumping it. I'll be posting a lot of stuff leading up to it. I'll make a little teaser video.
Buddy. Good luck,
Stream
buddy.
snipe it. Do whatever you guys want. I want as many people out there to be watching this, because I'm really, really looking forward to showing folks what I'm made of and putting on a good show. You know,
Draw blood.
I've really put in a lot of hard work, and I'm really focused on getting it all out and moving on from this and seeing where we go. But Friday, can't get here soon enough. I can't wait to get in that ring and smash. So
smash that midget Asian. Let's go, buddy.
Oh,
yeah. Best of luck. Best everything in there. And dude, thank you.
2.0. Let's go, baby. Let's
Great.
get it.
Phil, don't take no shit from nobody. I love you, buddy. You're
Thanks
the man.
for thank you again for coming on the other day and saving us when I had a whole bunch of problems. You're a total pro, man. All the best to you Friday.
Later.
Thanks.
Dude.
Who's this funny guy?
Man?
Yeah,
hey.
I sent it out to Patty. So it could be Patty. Should we throw him in?
Oh my god. Okay, Phil. You know how this shit goes. There's a lot of tweakers out there whenever you accept things. Hang on. This guy's scary to me. I don't know. I don't trust him. I don't trust him
every day.
Yeah. This is like something from, what was it? What's that fucking show? The movies they used to do with the people with the mask. They used to kill people.
Gino sent me a link. So is Gino live?
Yeah. Hey, how you doing? Hey, take off
He's typing in the chat. Tell him to type in the chat.
Type in the chat. B Buani.
Yeah, and then Phil, you would diagnose it because you're a genius.
Yeah,
you can figure it out.
Artist.
He can't see in there. Do we have to make him the admin of the channel?
Yeah, we would.
We should.
I'll just showcase it to the front and you can read it. Because Phil, we're really worried about people like Cancer stuttering John
in different language.
Yeah, I'm not sure the guy in the giant bunny costume might be someone you need to worry about.
That's what I'm saying.
I'm not sure what's tipping me off. It's
not
real. A feeling I have.
Feels like it's not what he's writing, but it's actually what he's saying.
I mean, there's a possibility he's time traveling to save his town from a crashing airplane, but
I'm gonna go on Gino in my other browser.
Hey, go ahead. Make me a mod.
I'll be on both.
Line. We're not gonna make you a mod. Good luck. Who is Steve Lou fighting again?
Ryan Katzer Rivera.
So, Phil, I kind of want to dive back into you.
Please.
What is some of your favorite childhood books when you were growing up? If you had to, pull out something to me.
Well, when I was younger, I really enjoyed a lot of the Heinlein juveniles. Robert Heinlein wrote a bunch of science fiction novels that were intended for younger audiences. Books like Have Spacesuit, Will Travel, and The Door into Summer. Those are great stories. I mean, later in his life, he went a little insane and wrote Stranger in a Strange Land. He wrote an entire novel in a Russian accent. The Moon is a Harsh Mistress. I can't read that one because it annoys me so much. But he wrote a lot of great books for younger readers and, treated them with respect. Like he didn't talk down to his readers, even when it was a younger audience. So those are great books.
Have you ever read this book? This is amazing. Do you like history at all or no? Like World War I, like East European history at all by any chance or no?
it has not been a topic of study for me. No.
Oh wow. So there's this book called The Bridge. Oh shit. It's during the Byzantine Empire, the Ottomans. It kind of covered all the aspects until World War One. It talks about the singular bridge, who has like been there since the dawn of time, not dawn of time, but since I would say since the Ottoman Empire through the Byzantine and then into World War One. Amazing read. It's just like dictates to you the Serbian aspect of just going through, the Eastern European aspect, because I mean you can read a lot about American and British literature, but there's an amazing Russian and just Eastern European and even Oriental literature that you can read into. I mean that's a lot what a lot of, I would say, Western people kind of not disregard, but kind of just forget about. It's just there's a great amount of Eastern European literature out there and Oriental. It covers all aspects of time.
Yeah,
like Sun Tzu. There's tons of great things.
Yeah, this is a little kind of ancillary to that. It doesn't really fit in that category, but one of my favorite authors is H.H. Munro, and one of my favorite short stories is one that he wrote called Sredni Vashtar, which is about a young boy who's basically he's living in an emotionally abusive relationship with his aunt or somebody. It's not his parents who have passed away.
Right.
And he acquires a polecat ferret that he starts worshiping. And that's Sredni Vashtar. He gives it that name. And eventually his aunt wants to know what it is he's doing, puttering around in the potting shed where he worships the animal. And so she goes interfering, and the polecat ferret kills her. And as the story ends, he's just happily buttering himself some toast in the kitchen while the servants fret about who's going to tell him that his aunt has been killed by the ferret. And the story became like a favorite of abuse survival groups, apparently. So I'm not sure you should let that particular Dabblestorian account in.
I'm not gonna pull a John.
It's gotta be rough.
No, I will say something right the fuck now. How dare you idiots and you fucking fools do that to him?
Yeah, it's got to be rough for Dabblestorian himself, because now everyone's afraid to let that individual guy on a show.
Not
even
even
though he
that.
didn't do it.
I mean, you gotta understand, like, dude, like with this tweaker
Yo, Elmore.
Yeah.
Dude, there's Gino sent me the link, and he's on with like Imhold and his Dime and Keanu and Chrissy and all them. So I might try to jump over there, and I'll try to bring.
I have to wrap up anyway.
No, Elmore, you got to come with, bro.
Yeah,
sorry, Mir, you're not cool enough to come over there.
I don't know as I would be welcome in that crowd. I haven't had good things to say about almost any of them, so it would probably.
Dude, we got to come back for like a little more long form interview sometime, and we can break down some more stuff. You guys were talking about books way too much, like not even your books, like some other books, just to sound smart.
Sorry, Phil.
You guys were just flexing too much on our audience tonight. We need Phil to like tell us about what's happening Friday, because I saw your stream for the first time today, and I saw that shit, and that's going to be crazy.
Well, on Friday now I'm committed to. I have to do one nunchucks lesson and one butterfly knife lesson as part of my Friday broadcast. So I'll probably pre-record those and upload them as videos that I can play, just so that I know that you can see what's going on, because I can't really do nunchucks sitting behind this desk. So
do you think, is there any like can you get some links for stuff we should maybe get before the lesson so we can practice?
Well, a set of nunchucks would be nice, but I'm not sure where you're going to get those on short notice.
Yeah, dang.
But the beauty of it is it'll be on video. It'll be there for as long as that stream sits there, so you can always come back to it.
Sick.
Phil, it's an honor to meet you, sir.
Well, thanks. Thank you for having me. I really appreciate it.
Right,
yeah, man, you're the man, dude. Keep it up. We'll keep enjoying your show.
I love you, Phil.
We'll talk again, man. You're the
Thanks,
man,
guys.
Dude.
Good luck.
Later.
See ya.
Peace.